so bad. I want to thank you for giving me the best day of my life.
This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester. Transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Cooper's Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James. Serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Thursday, October 31, 2024. NCB says it's working to resolve technical issues affecting Uber transactions. Education Ministry to assess safety standards of sporting equipment in schools. Southwest St. Catherine MP Everett Warmington wants salaries of electoral commissioners to be slashed. In regional news, Antigua, Dominica, and Grenada join calls to respect China's sovereignty. In international news, Spain searches for bodies after flood of the century claims at least 95 lives. In sports, the Sunshine Girls set to leave for New Zealand ahead of the Fast 5 World Series. And in business, U.S. economy growing despite voter angst ahead of presidential election. The details after the break.
When Sagicor Bank thinks of a woman, here's what we see. We see business leaders managing sole trader businesses to large corporations. We see university graduates as our women uplift themselves academically. We see more home owners, ambitious women working hard to build their own legacy. We see leadership at home, with women proudly providing for and taking care of their families. We see entrepreneurs, Jamaican women playing a leading role in our economic growth. At Sagicor Bank, we see the invaluable contribution of women in the home, communities, businesses, and development of our country. That's why we're in their corner, supporting Jamaica's women as they strive to achieve their dreams.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The National Commercial Bank, NCB, says it's working to resolve technical issues affecting Uber transactions made by some customers using their Visa debit cards. In a statement on Wednesday, NCB says the issue resulted in transactions not being charged to customers' accounts, leading to unpaid balances and potential fraudulent activity. Dana Davey reports.
Scores of NCB customers are expressing concerns about lump sum charges being applied to their accounts for Uber rides. On social media site X, several customers complained about monies either being deducted from their accounts or liens being placed on their accounts. A lien is a claim or legal right to a debtor's property or other assets. Some social media users shared screenshots of their accounts with liens ranging from over $300,000 to $1 million. NCB says approximately 1% of Visa debit card holders, that's over 8,000 accounts, have been impacted. It says investigated transactions date back to May this year. The bank says during its review, it noticed that some customers completed an exceptionally high number of Uber transactions, with some exceeding 700 rides within a single month. NCB says this number indicated a possible misuse or exploitation of the issue. The bank says it has also temporarily frozen 300 accounts for further investigation due to unusually high volumes of Uber transactions. NCB says it has communicated with Visa debit customers regarding the funds owed and which will be processed for Uber transactions made. NCB added that it has processed the owed balances where there are funds in the accounts or temporarily placed liens on accounts with insufficient funds until the outstanding amounts are recovered. It says accounts flagged for suspicious activity will be blocked pending further review. Dana Davy for Nationwide News.
Teams from the Ministry of Education will be conducting inspections in schools across the island to assess the safety standards of sporting equipment used by the institutions. The move follows the death of a second-form student at Campion College, Rashad Richards, on Tuesday. Rashad died after being struck in the head by a goalpost that fell on him. It's understood Rashad was swinging on the goalpost as he waited to be picked up from school. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, former Education Minister Favour Williams says there are established standards that govern the use and security of goalposts at schools.
There are set standards for the equipment used in sports offered at schools, including goal posts. These standards are in the Jamaican standard specifications for the safety and performance of football goals. It was the first to be completed at the time. It was created by the Ministry of Education and Youth in partnership with the Bureau of Standards Jamaica some years ago. And these standards include how goal posts should be used and even how they should be secured when in and not in use. We will be reminding schools of these standards, and teams from the Ministry of Education and Youth will be conducting visits to inspect these goal posts and ensure adherence to the respective standards.
Favour Williams, a former Minister of Education. Campion College says classes were dismissed at noon on Wednesday and all co-curricular activities were cancelled. It says meetings scheduled for this week with parents have also been postponed. The Supreme Court, in a written judgment delivered last week, determined that a May 2020 media release defaming then Commissioner of the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom, Terence Williams, exhibited intrinsic malice. In July this year, the court awarded Williams $50 million in damages in a lawsuit against the Jamaica Police Federation. The court ruled that the language used by the Federation's then chairman, Superintendent Petrero, was disparaging. Our reporter, Robin Williams, has been reading the judgment.
The defamatory press release called on Terence Williams to step aside from his role as Indicom boss. It made particular statements about him, written in bold and full capital letters. We will not repeat those statements. The court has determined they amount to defamation. The release was shared with various media houses, including Nationwide News Network, to generate news content. Williams argued that the statements were inflammatory and libelous. The defendants in the suit are then chairman of the Federation, Superintendent Petrero, and Sergeant Tamika Thomas. The 50-page ruling made it clear that the words used to describe Williams were disparaging of him personally and professionally, both as an attorney at law as well as in his capacity as the Commissioner of Indicom. The court found that the defamatory statements were published with an indirect motive other than a duty to publish material of public interest regarding the administration of justice. Additionally, the court ruled that evidence of intrinsic malice can be detected in the words used in the press release, which contained inaccuracies. The court also took into consideration utterances made by Superintendent Rowe during Nationwide's Cliff Hughes online program on May 6, 2020. In determining the quantum of damages to be awarded, the court considered the refusal of the defendants to retract the statements made or issue an apology, the wide circulation of the press release, and questions raised about Williams's character and integrity. The judgment noted that the words used to describe Williams in the press release would cause average right-thinking members of the public to form the view that he is untruthful, corrupt, and lacking in integrity. The court found that the defendants failed to prove that the comments made were opinions and not assertions of fact. In the end, the court awarded damages in the sum of $50 million. Robeanne Williams for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, Superintendent Petrero and Sergeant Tamika Thomas have filed an appeal on behalf of the Jamaica Police Federation. They're seeking to reverse the award of $50 million in damages to then-Commissioner of Indicom, Terrence Williams. The appellants submitted 12 grounds of appeal on which they are relying. They argue that the presiding judge erred in law and, in fact, by ruling that the words used in a press release about Terrence Williams were defamatory. They claim the judge erred in law by failing to find that the defense of fair comment was satisfied. Specifically, they say the judge didn't adequately consider that the statements in question were expressions of opinion on matters of public interest and were based on true facts and were made without malice. They submit that the judge failed to recognize that they are entitled to the protection of fair comment under law. A date has not yet been set for the interested parties to appear physically in the Court of Appeal. Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, says it's giving domestic household workers another opportunity to apply for the government's reverse income tax credit. Some applicants were rejected as no eligible source of income was found. Chief Corporate Communications Officer at the TAJ, Maris Houghton, says the issue arose because there was no record of a tax registration number, TRN, for some applicants.
When we did further investigations, we confirmed that the persons would have indeed submitted their cards, but TAJ is going from the database that has been provided to us by NIS in respect of the qualifying persons. What it seems to have happened based on what we have had an investigation with them, we had meetings with them, that the NIS, which does not require persons to have a TRN, did not have TRN for some persons or does not have TRN for some persons. However, you will appreciate that for the TAJ system, TRN is what is the basis of all our records on our system.
Maris Houghton, Chief Corporate Communications Officer at TAJ. She says affected domestic household workers can visit the nearest office of the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, to update their records with their TRN. The TAJ says this should be done before November 4. It also notes that stamp card applicants without a TRN on record will be further advised when to reapply. Taxpayers are being reminded that the process of application to disbursement spans approximately 4 weeks from the time a confirmed application is submitted via the tax portal. TAJ says applicants have until December 2 to submit their applications. Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine, Errol Warmington, is repeating his call for a reduction in the emoluments given to commissioners of the Electoral Commission, in line with what he insists is the part-time nature of their work. The emoluments are pegged to the remuneration of a puisne judge. A puisne judge is currently paid an annual salary of $22 million. But Warmington moved a motion in the House on Tuesday in which he claimed that the work of the commissioners is not as time-consuming or demanding as a puisne judge.
And whereas the tasks being performed by the commissioners can in no way compare to that being performed by puisne judges or senior puisne judges, who have to work long hours doing extensive researches, trials, among other duties. And whereas there are many unfortunate Jamaicans who have to work up to 70 hours a week at minimum wage just to meet the basic needs of their families, and others are living in abject poverty. Be it resolved that this Honourable House amend the Electoral Commission Act, Interim Act 2006, and be it further resolved that the emolument to be paid to commissioners be commensurate with the part-time job they now perform and in light with that paid to members of other government commissions and members serving on government boards.
Warmington also called on the Director of Elections to be removed from the panel of election commissioners.
Whereas paragraph 1, subsection 1 of the first schedule of Electoral Commission here Interim Act states, the commission shall consist of 9 members, which include the Director of Election. And whereas paragraph 1, subsection C states, makes the Director of Election eligible to vote at meetings of the Commission. And whereas in its report dated October 1, 2008, submitted to Parliament, the Electoral Commission appeared to suggest that the Director of Election should not be eligible to vote. Be it resolved that Parliament takes immediate action to amend paragraph 1, subsection 1 of the first schedule of Electoral Commission Interim Act so that the Director of Election will no longer be a commissioner and eligible to vote.
Everald Warmington, Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine. Opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, has labelled as erroneous a statement by Prime Minister Andrew Holness that the country's debt-to-GDP ratio was 145% when the JLP administration took office in February 2016. Mr. Holness made the comment in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. However, Mr. Robinson says the debt-to-GDP ratio stood at 115% when the PNP left office in 2016.
The People's National Party wishes to set the record straight on an erroneous statement made by the Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament yesterday on the country's debt-to-GDP ratio. In 2012, the country's debt-to-GDP ratio was 145%. It was reduced to 115% in 2016 when the PNP left office. It is therefore wrong for the Prime Minister to suggest that his party reduced it from 145 to its current level now.
He says in 2012, the PNP inherited a challenging economic situation with the debt-to-GDP ratio at 145%. Mr. Robinson says by 2016, through determined efforts, the PNP administration reduced this.
In fact, it is worth noting that in 2007, when the JLP assumed office, the debt-to-GDP ratio was 107%, and in the 5 years when they left it, it went to 145. So the PNP actually started the downward trajectory of reducing our debt to GDP, which has continued with the present administration. But it is important for the record, for the country to note that we started that process of moving it from 145 in 2012 to 116 in 2016.
Julian Robinson, opposition spokesman on finance and the public service. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Best dressed chicken, Vienna sausages. 100% chicken, straight Jamaican, I eat.
The time by Best Dressed Chicken Vienna Sausages is
6:17.
Drive Hyundai. Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, 3 CARICOM nations, Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica and Grenada, have joined 80 developing countries in a statement at the United Nations calling for the respect of China's sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. The statement was made during the UN General Assembly's Third Committee debate on human rights, which addresses social, cultural, and humanitarian issues on Wednesday. The signatory countries expressed opposition to the politicization of human rights, double standards, and interference in the internal affairs of states under the guise of human rights concerns. Political observers say that at the heart of the matter is a statement by developed countries including the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany, and Japan, in which they say they have ongoing concerns about serious human rights violations in China. During the debate, China's permanent representative to the United Nations, Zhang Jun, dismissed as lies the issues raised by the developed countries. International survivors of the worst natural disaster to hit Spain this century awoke to scenes of devastation on Thursday. A report by the Associated Press says the scenes looked eerily similar to the damage left by a strong hurricane or tsunami. There are cars piled on one another like broken toys, uprooted trees, down power lines, and household items in layers of mud covering the streets of Barra de la Torre, a suburb in Valencia. It is one of dozens of damaged localities hit by monstrous flash floods between late Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Spain's National Weather Service said it rained more in 8 hours in the Valencian town of Xiva than it had in the preceding 20 months. The death toll is expected to rise as search efforts continue, with officials removing bodies from vehicles. An unknown number of people remain missing. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
So where you get? The new Popeyes blackened chicken sandwich, my girl. The flavor just hits different.
Blackened like it burn up?
Nah, man. Blackened because of the color of the Louisiana herbs and spices. Blackened like the flavor buck. No breading and the seasoning soaked deep in the chicken. But get yours and try it, cause me nah share yours. Get the new Popeyes blackened chicken sandwich. Limited time only.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Ready to make every step count? The CB Group UE5K is back for its 13th year, and together we're changing lives. And this year we're aiming for 100 more scholarships, 100 more dreams fulfilled. Join us on Sunday, November 24 at 6:30 a.m. at UE Mona. Let's run for dreams, run for hope, and run for a brighter future at the CB Group UE5K and Run with Passion Kids K. Register now at runningeventsja.com and let's make a difference one step at a time.
The 5% Club is now taking new members. Sounds exclusive? We don't want it to be. You see, it's made up of less than 5% of women who get screened for breast cancer in our country each year. At Sagicor, we've made it our mission to help to change the statistics. In fact, with 5,000 more women getting screened, we can officially become the 6% Club. And we won't stop there. So please get checked. Early detection saves lives. Go to bit.ly/5% Club JA.
Time now for your morning sports. Some football news. National champions Cavalier are through to the second straight Caribbean Club Championship final. This follows a crushing 7-0 defeat of Mocha FC of the Dominican Republic in their return leg semi-final at the National Stadium on Thursday night. Shaquille Stein scored 3 times while Kylie Ovray bagged a double. Cavalier advanced to the final 7-0 on aggregate as the first leg in Domrep ended goalless. The second leg in the other semi-final will be played today with Cibao of the Dominican Republic holding a 3-2 first leg lead over Real Hope of Haiti. Former champions Arnott Gardens will battle Chapelton Maroons in a rescheduled game in the Ren Nephew Jamaica Premier League at the Tony Spalding Sports Complex on Thursday at 6 p.m. Arnott are sixth in the standings with 8 points and will be looking for only their third victory of the season. Chapelton Maroons are 10th with 7 points, and they too are gunning for their third victory of the campaign. On Wednesday, Dumbeholden FC beat Mount Pleasant Academy 3-2 in another rescheduled game to move off the foot of the standings. Now, Jamaica's Sunshine Girls are set to leave the island on Saturday for Christchurch, New Zealand, ahead of the Fast 5 World Netball Series at Wolfbrook Arena from November 9 to 10. This is the third straight year Christchurch will be hosting the tournament. World Netball has made several changes to the Fast 5 rules for 2024. Sunshine Girls defender Kimon Shaw says they have been doing their research to ensure they're up to date with the new rules.
So the girls, we actually have created a group where we have all the rules all the updated rules, and we also keep them at the forefront of our minds. We also practice them. We always have to practice till it sticks. So that's what we have been doing in order to ensure that there's no mistakes when we reach.
Shaw says the players are fit and ready to take on the best in the world.
All the girls have been putting in the extra work. Even though we don't train on 2 days, we always hit the gym or we do our extra work. So we always have to keep doing the extra work because it's going to take extra for things to be different this time around.
Kimon Shaw wrapping up your morning sports.
The Ministry of Local Government and Community Development celebrates November as Local Government and Community Month under the theme Local Government at Work, Facing the Future Together. And you are invited to our National Church service on Sunday, November 3 at 10 a.m. at the Webster Memorial United Church, 53 Halfway Tree Road, Kingston. You can find the date, time, and location for all other events and activities at www.localgovjamaica.gov.jm. Come celebrate Local Government and Community Month with us.
Attention motorists, it's time to switch to the T-Tag on Highway 2000 East West. The T-Tag system reduces the amount of cash handled at our toll plazas and makes it safer for our staff and motorists at the toll booths. The T-Tag makes it quicker, more cost efficient and safer for our customers. So switch to the T-Tag today and experience the convenience. The discount on T-Tag packages has been extended. Get yours for only $1,500, including a $500 toll credit from now until October 31st.
In business this morning, the BBC is reporting that the U.S. economy grew solidly in the 3 months to September, expanding at an annual rate of 2.8%. Despite a slight slowdown from the prior quarter's 3% rate, the figures released by the Commerce Department showed the U.S. is on track for one of the strongest economic performances of any major economy this year. Consumer spending was the biggest driver, picking up from earlier in the year. The report arrives days before polls close in America's hotly contested presidential election, in which surveys have consistently indicated the economy is America's top concern. It is not clear if the latest figures will do much to ease people's worries. Economic sentiment, which darkened abruptly during the pandemic, has remained downbeat as a roughly 21% jump in prices over the past 4 years overshadows other economic news, no matter how positive. According to a poll by the Associated Press Nork Center for Public Affairs Research this month, a solid 62% of Americans viewed the economy overall as bad. Back locally, gas prices are going down this morning. Motorists will pay $3.06 less for a litre of 87-octane gasoline and 90-octane. The price of automotive diesel oil and ultra-low sulfur diesel will also go down by 25 cents. Meanwhile, kerosene goes down by $1.95. Propane cooking gas will go up by $1.54. Butane will also be sold for $2.44 more. Finally, in foreign exchange trading, the Jamaican dollar has lost 3 cents and will open trading this morning, selling for an average $159.10 against the benchmark U.S. dollar. The Jamaican dollar has lost 1 cent and will open trading today, selling for an average $114.47 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican has gained 47 cents and will open trading today, selling for an average $206.15 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:29.
I don't have no time for whole heap of paperwork. That's why I downloaded and signed up for my One Jane Passport app. Get it all in one go. Download and sign up now. The temperature by the One Jane Passport app is
27 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston and out west in Montego Bay, 28 degrees Celsius.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Drive Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply. Path beneficiaries. The October payment cycle has started. Post offices and payment agencies will deliver payments based on last names up to November 4, 2024. Check the Friday Observer, Weekend Star, and the ministry's social media pages to find out when you should collect. For more information, call our customer contact center at 876-922-8000-13 or visit the ministry's website at www.mlss.gov.jm. Path, advancing your family, developing Jamaica. A message from the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Good morning to you. You are tuned in to Nationwide this morning, NTM, the big show. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us this Thursday morning. It is Thursday, October 31, 2024, the final day of this month. Friday, we enter a new month, and I think it will be timely for my advocacy to begin, and Jermaine will smirk at me when I asked for carols. Did you know, Jermaine, that we played a carol last week? What? Whomever was at the board. David Cunningham.
So you make the man get a memo. You make David get a memo now, you know.
Oh my
man,
goodness.
Pastor go right, you want to say, please desist from doing things outside. Keep violent.
Jermaine shakes his head.
So you know, King style, King has approached David and say, you know, the Arctic program.
Oh my goodness. It was so refreshing, I tell you. So refreshing, Jermaine. So no,
one tune class 1 week.
Listen. Jermaine, the ladies in here know how to use a board as well, you know. I'll just call my producer, Michelle McCray Smith, the great Michelle. Anywho, hello to all of our YouTubers or peeps out there in Radioland joining us on the other apps and the website this morning. Hello to you as well. I'm Tawna Thomas.
Morning, Tawna. My name is George.
Hey to you, George.
What up?
I'm here.
You're good.
You're here too.
Yeah, man, we're there.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So, listeners, in life, you have to accept change. And you have to reconcile some things that you held dear. Those things you have to reconcile with things that the environment forces a change to. I'm going to speak this morning about this and that. The that was the move by the PNP to declare Isaac Buchanan as their prospective candidate when the general election comes around for the constituency of East Portland. That's the that. The this is the return of Mama D, Marisa Dalrymple Philibert, to South Trelawney, and the announcement by the Prime Minister that she will be the candidate when the election is called. I see people all over telling people that, oh, I am the candidate for so rubbish. And I am at war with my newsroom to not write and report in that way. Nobody's a candidate for anything. You are all caretakers. You want to make your position sound more lofty than it is. You are caretakers. People are candidates after nomination day and after nomination day only. So you're a MP caretaker, say that. Yes, you're a divisional caretaker, say that. But don't tell people I am the PNP's candidate or I'm the JLP's candidate. Rubbish. And we won't advance that here. Anyway, so that is ISAT. And this is Marissa Dalrymple Philibert. Now, when Donald Trump caught his troubles and was convicted on a whole heap of charges, I said to Cliff, that boy, you know what this will do, this will shift the standard that is traditionally expected of people in public office. And you expect people in public office for their reputations to be spotless, for there to be no charge against their character. And the fact that he is plowing on, at the time, he was plowing on in his bid to get the Republican nomination for the US presidential race, and of course got that. And the fact that millions of Americans want him despite his criminal conviction cemented the change in how people viewed leaders and potential leaders and the character that they own. So even people who before would say, well, I would never support a criminal convict in their bid to lead my country or to hold any position of authority. People, because of their love for Trump and how their consideration of Trump trumped other considerations, they settled on Trump, notwithstanding the values that they previously held about how their leaders must be spotless. And so, of course, they say the US sneezes, Jamaica catch a cold. So I said to him that, that will change the game, not just in the USA, but here. So here we come. We all know that Isaac Buchanan is a two-time criminal convict. We all know what he was convicted for. Yet, the PNP plowed on with him, and they've put him in East Portland. Now the PNP speaks about rehabilitation and paying your debt to society and reformation. And you saw what they did with Vibes Cartel at conference. So the past, they say, is the past. The past doesn't matter. And they've gone on with ISAT. And now the JLP have said, oh, well, all right, if you do that, then there's nothing wrong with returning to Mama D. And at this point, details become important because nobody in East Portland, well, not nobody, no colony in East Portland has voiced a collective displeasure at the PNP's positioning of ISAT to represent them in the constituency. No group has said we don't want him. So the fair thing to assume is that they want him, that they welcome him. The people have decided. In that way, it doesn't matter what your individual feeling is about the issue. Those who stand to be represented by a man with his record say nothing is wrong with his record sufficient to cause us to not want him to represent us in an election and to ultimately represent the constituency if he wins. Go over to Trelawney now. And the details matter again. Because someone will say, well, it's not like old time days, when the issues concerning Mrs. Dalrymple Philibert were told to us by the media. We couldn't read it for ourselves to see exactly what it is that she found herself in trouble with the Integrity Commission for. They've read it. And many would have said, well, look, she resigned from Parliament because the Integrity Commission essentially found that she failed to manage in the prescribed way an asset procured with government funds, i.e. the concession. So she used the concession to buy the vehicle, but she never managed ownership of the vehicle in the prescribed way. That is essentially what happened. So when they read the details of that, they say, but it's not like Mama D commit no crime. That's what they say. She never thief no money, because the report said nothing about that. There was never that charge. So she never thief no money. She never tried to trick the state into using state resources and all of the range of things that people have been accused of in the past. They will say, well, Mama D, that never arose. So she failed to manage an asset procured using taxpayers' funds. She failed to manage it in the prescribed way. And because of that, she said, boy, may I walk away. So therefore, nothing wrong with that, because on the other side, if the PNP can put up a 2-time criminal convict for drug smuggling, why can't we have Mama D given the details of what Mama D was found to have been engaged in as per the Integrity Commission investigation? And so when they reason that way, they will have told the Prime Minister, give us Mama D in this by-election, because what she has done, in our view, is not that bad. And compared to what others who are going up for office on the other side have done, then if them can run shamelessly, then she should have no shame coming forward asking us for our support at the polls. And here we have the Trump situation again, because like in the US, where they have accepted a spotty leader or a potential spotty leader, know that the character is tainted, know that this man has been criminally convicted, and yet they are poised to put him into the most powerful office in the world in a few days from now. Here we have an opposition who cannot issue a press release talking about Mrs. Dalrymple Philibert's positioning to again represent South Trelawney in the Parliament, because they have handcuffed themselves to the gate by virtue of what they've done with ISAT. So they've gone to the bottom of the barrel, or they went there with that move with ISAT. Therefore, they can't criticize this move by the JLP to put Mrs. Dalrymple Philibert in again. And again, details matter, because especially when the political sides, those who are aligned heavily to the political parties, when they look at the details of what Mrs. Dalrymple Philibert walked out of Parliament as a result of, they will say, well, sure. Even though many of us still believe that the people who come to us for endorsement, for our support, to hold important office, member of parliament, councillor, believe that, boy, you should come with spotless character. But what does our conviction and belief mean if the people that these individuals are poised to represent say, well, we have no problem with the person? Why do you? You sit there in town, you unitarily, you by yourself. How can you tell me that based on what I know about this person, that I shouldn't be given the chance to ultimately decide if the person is worthy or not? Let me decide. Put the name on the ballot. I will decide if I'm going to vote for that, for ISAT, or vote for his rival. Give me the decision to make as to whether or not I'm going to vote for Mrs. Dalrymple Philibert or not, or am I going to vote for her rival? So don't make the decision for me. Don't impose your belief on me because I wield ultimate power as an elector, a registered voter in the constituency that these people are in. So these matters are not easy. So it comes back to your personal conviction and what you believe. Do you believe that your leaders should be spotless? Or do you believe that the details matter to the extent that what is it that my leader has against, or my leadership aspirant has against the character that causes it to be spotty? What am I willing to accept from a personal position? I don't like this and I don't like that. But ultimately, the people them in Portland and the people them in Trelawney, them not see nothing wrong with it. So who am I?
Resolve your conflict peacefully with restorative justice. Call 876-906-4923. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:49.
Halfway through Balmoral Slab Road, Papine. Halfway through Balmoral Slab Road, Papine.
You alright?
Yeah, just trying to map out all the National Bakery wholesale locations. So anyway, me there in Kingston, we can pull up on a National Wholesale and get me bread and snacks cheaper than anywhere else.
But Bird Boss, you forget one. The newest one at that, with whole heap of parking. 3 miles, 207 Hagley Park Road.
Wow, another one?
National Wholesales, where every deal is a steal. It's always national.
Does your bra ride up your back? Do your shoulders hurt from carrying the weight of your breasts? These are signs of an ill-fitting bra. When was the last time you were fitted by a bra fit specialist? The bra experts at LaBelle Femme will take care of you. Drop into the store at 53 Lady Musgrave Road, Tuesdays to Saturdays from 10 to 5, and you will see the difference. Or call 876-622-6091.
With Jamaica Automobile Association, membership is a win-win. Enter the JAA Fuel Up promotion, and you could win the grand prize of JAA Gold membership for 1 year, plus fuel valued at $240,000. Just purchase, renew, or upgrade your JAA membership, or use your individual JAA advance card to buy at least $10,000 of fuel a month. So, fuel up! There's also monthly prices of $20,000 in fuel. Enter now. JAA Fuel Up promotion ends December 13, 2024. Conditions apply.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, George. Oh, okay. Good morning. Morning, Donna.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
All right. It's bright and sunny this morning. We had some rain again. Some clouds are above. But you know what happens during the afternoon. Atmospheric conditions and whatever is taking place might cause some rainfall. Also, I can tell you about the eastern side. If you're coming from the Harborview side, from Florida, Glasspool Highway, and then going on to Michael Manley Boulevard, that's pretty good going. Going up Windward Road, steady, all the way across to Victoria Avenue. But remember, it's not so smooth going in that direction. Going up Upper Elsie Road to connect with Miriam Road, then going out onto East. South Camp Road and going up to Camp Road. Pretty good going so far, but it's building all the time. And I should say also Mountain View, if you're going that way, northbound, going past Langston Road, Beanery, and then going further up to Apple, it's pretty good going. I doubt if it's the same thing with on the westbound side coming east, but we'll talk about that come 7:18. So it's back to you, George, in the studio.
Thank you, Ludlow. Ludlow McLean there with Street Smart 1. Up next, the word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
A word of the day, a very interesting one. It's spelled SAMHAINOPHOBIA, spelled SAMHAINOPHOBIA. And I do not want to hazard a guess of how this word is pronounced. I want the pronunciation from Jermaine. Jermaine is trying to find the pronunciation. But I know that we have the definition here from dictionary.com saying it's an abnormal or extreme fear of Halloween.
Yeah?
An abnormal or extreme fear of Halloween. The word of the day. I see a breakout here.
Run it, man.
Suinophobia. That's what I'm seeing here. I don't know if that's the pronunciation we're going to get on the other side. But it's spelled SAMHAINOPHOBIA. I'm seeing a breakout here that says suinophobia, an abnormal or extreme fear of Halloween. And to use it in a sentence, the child's suinophobia is so severe that he refuses to leave the house during October, fearing the costumes and decorations. Can we get the pronunciation again?
Suinophobia.
Go again?
Suinophobia.
Okay, suinophobia is the word of the day. Suinophobia. And the sentence we provided to repeat, the child's suinophobia is so severe that he refuses to leave the house during October, fearing the costumes and decorations. The definition again, an abnormal or extreme fear of Halloween. Up next are features at the top of the hour, the news.
Older people are especially vulnerable to loneliness and social isolation, and it can have a serious effect on health. But there are ways to overcome loneliness, even if you live alone and find it hard to get out. In this COVID-19 environment and the current risk management orders requiring that persons over 75 years stay home, hundreds of thousands of elderly people are lonely and cut off from society. In coming of age today, loneliness and isolation in the elderly. According to the 2011 census conducted by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, there were almost 218,000 persons over the age of 65 years living in the country, many of whom are living alone. People can become socially isolated for a variety of reasons. This includes getting older or weaker, no longer being the hub of their family, leaving the workplace, the death of spouses and friends, or through disability or illness. Whatever the cause, it's shockingly easy to be left feeling alone and vulnerable. This can lead to depression and a serious decline in physical health and well-being. Someone who's lonely probably also finds it hard to reach out. There's a stigma surrounding loneliness, and older people tend not to ask for help because they have too much pride. It's important to remember loneliness can and does affect anyone of any age. Here are ways for older people to connect with others and feel useful and appreciated again. Take time to listen to your loved one. Simply having you there to listen can help your loved one feel less alone. Actively engage your loved one in conversation, asking questions and encouraging them to express themselves. It may not come easily at first, but your willingness to learn will go a long way. Develop a plan. In addition to listening, take the time to learn about your loved one's interests and develop a plan to incorporate them into everyday life. Simply taking an hour out of your day to share an activity with your loved one can make a significant impact. Bridge the gap. For aging parents and others struggling with loneliness, finding someone to connect with may not be as difficult as imagined. Help them connect with younger relatives or become a member of a church organization even. In this COVID-19 environment, the use of technology may be a better option to connecting with others. Teach someone something. Give your loved ones the opportunity to teach you something instead. Take what you've learned by listening to your loved one and ask them to teach you something. Even if all they are able to offer is wisdom and helpful advice, it will help bring meaning to their life. Take a class or seminar. Encourage your loved ones to take up a class or seminar. Although time may be virtual, they will meet new people at these events. There are many organizations offering free online courses. Research shows that participating in meaningful activities can lower the risk of dementia and physical health problems in seniors. That's it for Coming of Age today.
Fearless and fair, nationwide 90 FM.
Most males aren't picky dressers, but do take pride in their attire at special functions. Hi, I'm Tana, and these are your lifestyle pages. When attending a black tie event, you must dress a particular way. Think about the event you're going to. There are many different variations within the dress code. Get a jacket and trousers to match. If possible, buy your dinner jacket and trousers as a set. This will mean that your outfit is a lot neater and matches perfectly. Get a wing-tipped shirt. A wing-tip collar is the proper etiquette. Learn how to tie a bow tie. If not, buy a ready tied one. Get a waistcoat. Get a clean shave. And to top that all off, get a pair of black leather shoes. I'm Tana, and those were your lifestyle pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
From Negril Point to Morant Bay, a little kindness can go a far way. The time by the Jamaica Information Service is...
News time, 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore. Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is...
27 degrees Celsius in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Thursday, October 31, 2024, NCB says it's working to resolve technical issues affecting Uber transactions. Education Ministry to assess safety standards of sporting equipment in schools. And the Southwest St. Catherine MP Everald Warmington wants salaries paid to electoral commissioners to be slashed. In international news, Spain searches for bodies after flood of the century claims at least 95 lives.
News at 7 is brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The National Commercial Bank NCB says it's working to resolve technical issues affecting Uber transactions made by some customers using their Visa debit cards. In a statement on Wednesday, NCB says the issue resulted in transactions not being charged to customers' accounts, leading to unpaid balances and potential fraudulent activity. Dana Davey reports.
Scores of NCB customers are expressing concerns about lump sum charges being applied to their accounts for Uber rides. On social media site X, several customers complained about monies either being deducted from their accounts or liens being placed on their accounts. A lien is a claim or legal right to a debtor's property or other assets. Some social media users shared screenshots of their accounts with liens ranging from over $300,000 to $1 million. NCB says approximately 1% of Visa debit card holders, that's over 8,000 accounts, have been impacted. It says investigated transactions date back to May this year. The bank says during its review, it noticed that some customers completed an exceptionally high number of Uber transactions, with some exceeding 700 rides within a single month. NCB says this number indicated a possible misuse or exploitation of the issue. The bank says it has also temporarily frozen 300 accounts for further investigation due to unusually high volumes of Uber transactions. NCB says it has communicated with Visa debit customers regarding the funds owed and which will be processed for Uber transactions made. NCB added that it has processed the owed balances where there are funds in the accounts or temporarily placed liens on accounts with insufficient funds until the outstanding amounts are recovered. It says accounts flagged for suspicious activity will be blocked pending further review. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Dana. Teams from the Ministry of Education will be conducting inspections in schools across the island to assess the safety standards of sporting equipment used at these institutions. The move follows the death of a second form student at Campion College, Rashad Richards, on Tuesday. Rashad died after being struck in the head by a goalpost that fell on him. It's understood he was swinging on the goalpost as he waited to be picked up from school. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, the former Education Minister, Favour Williams, said there are established standards that govern the use and security of goalposts at schools.
There are set standards for the equipment used in sports offered at schools, including goal posts. These standards are in the Jamaican Standard Specifications for the safety and performance of football goals. It was the first to be completed at the time. It was created by the Ministry of Education and Youth in partnership with the Bureau of Standards Jamaica some years ago. And these standards include how goal posts should be used and even how they should be secured when in and not in use. We will be reminding schools of these standards, and teams from the Ministry of Education and Youth will be conducting visits to inspect these goal posts and ensure adherence to the respective standards.
Favour Williams, former Minister of Education. Campion College says that classes were dismissed at noon on Wednesday and all co-curricular activities were cancelled. It says meetings set for this week with parents have also been postponed. The Supreme Court, in a written judgment delivered last week, determined that a May 2020 media release defaming then-Commissioner of Indicom, Terence Williams, exhibited intrinsic malice. In July this year, the court awarded Williams $50 million in damages in a lawsuit brought against the Jamaica Police Federation. The court ruled that the language used by the Federation's then-chairman, Superintendent Petray Rowe, was disparaging. Our reporter, Robian Williams, read the full judgment.
The defamatory press release called on Terence Williams to step aside from his role as Indicom boss. It made particular statements about him, written in bold and full capital letters. We will not repeat those statements. The court has determined they amount to defamation. The release was shared with various media houses, including Nationwide News Network, to generate news content. Williams argued that the statements were inflammatory and libelous. The defendants in the suit are then chairman of the Federation, Superintendent Petray Rowe, and Sergeant Tamika Thomas. The 50-page ruling made it clear that the words used to describe Williams were disparaging of him personally and professionally, both as an attorney at law as well as in his capacity as the Commissioner of Indicom. The court found that the defamatory statements were published with an indirect motive other than a duty to publish material of public interest regarding the administration of justice. Additionally, the court ruled that evidence of intrinsic malice can be detected in the words used in the press release, which contained inaccuracies. The court also took into consideration utterances made by Superintendent Rowe during Nationwide's Cliff Hughes online program on May 6, 2020. In determining the quantum of damages to be awarded, the court considered the refusal of the defendants to retract the statements made or issue an apology, the wide circulation of the press release, and questions raised about Williams's character and integrity. The judgment noted that the words used to describe Williams in the press release would cause average right-thinking members of the public to form the view that he is untruthful, corrupt, and lacking in integrity. The court found that the defendants failed to prove that the comments made were opinions and not assertions of fact. In the end, the court awarded damages in the sum of $50 million. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, Superintendent Petray Rowe and the Sergeant Tamika Thomas have filed an appeal on behalf of the Jamaica Police Federation. They're seeking to reverse the award of $50 million in damages to then Indicom Commissioner Terence Williams. The appellants submitted 12 grounds of appeal on which they're relying. They argue that the presiding judge erred in law and in fact by ruling that the words used in a press release about Terence Williams were defamatory. They claim the judge erred in law by failing to find that the defense of fair comment was satisfactory. satisfied. Specifically, they say the judge didn't adequately consider that the statements in question were expressions of opinion on matters of public interest, were based on true facts, and were made without malice. They submit that the judge failed to recognize that they are entitled to the protection of fair comment under law. A date has not yet been set for the interested parties to appear physically in the Court of Appeal. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ says it's giving domestic household workers another opportunity to apply for the government's reverse income tax credit. Some applicants were rejected as no eligible source of income was found. Chief Corporate Communications Officer at TAJ, Maurice Horton, says the issue arose because there was no record of a tax registration number, TRN, for some applicants.
When we did further investigations, we confirmed that the persons would have indeed submitted their cards, but TAJ is going from the database that has been provided to us by NIS in respect of the qualifying persons. What it seems to have happened, based on what we have had an investigation with them, we had meetings with them, that the NIS, which does not require persons to have a TRN, did not have TRN for some persons, or does not have TRN for some persons. However, you will appreciate that for the TAJ system, TRN is what is the basis of all our records on our system.
Maurice Horton, Chief Corporate Communications Officer at TAJ. She says affected domestic household workers can visit the nearest office of the National Insurance Scheme, NIS, to update their records with their TRN. The TAJ says this should be done before November 4. It also notes that stamp card applicants without a TRN on record will be further advised when to reapply. Taxpayers are being reminded that the process of application to disbursement spans approximately 4 weeks from the time a confirmed application is submitted via the tax portal. TAJ says applicants have until December 2 to submit their applications. Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine Everald Warmington is repeating his call for a reduction in the emoluments given to commissioners of the Electoral Commission, in line with what he insists is the part-time nature of their work. The emoluments are pegged to the remuneration of a puisne judge. A puisne judge is currently paid an annual salary of $22 million. But Warmington moved a motion in the House on Tuesday in which he claimed that the work of the commissioners is not as time-consuming or demanding as a puisne judge.
And whereas the tasks being performed by the commissioners can in no way compare to that being performed by puisne judges or senior puisne judges, who have to work long hours doing extensive researches, trials, among other duties. And whereas there are many unfortunate Jamaicans who have to work up to 70 hours a week at minimum wage just to meet the basic needs of their families, and others are living in abject poverty. Be it resolved that His Honourable House amend the Electoral Commission Act, Interim Act 2006, and be it further resolved that the emolument to be paid to commissioners be commensurate with the part-time job they now perform, and in light with that paid to members of other government commissions and members serving on government boards.
Warmington is also calling for the Director of Elections to be removed from the panel of election commissioners.
Whereas paragraph 1, subsection 1 of the first schedule of Electoral Commission here Interim Act states, the commission shall consist of 9 members, which include the Director of Election. And whereas paragraph 1, subsection C states, makes the Director of Election eligible to vote at meetings of the Commission. And whereas in its report dated October 1, 2008, submitted to Parliament, the Electoral Commission appeared to suggest that the Director of Election should not be eligible to vote. Be it resolved that Parliament takes immediate action to amend paragraph 1, subsection 1 of the first schedule of Electoral Commission Interim Act, so that the Director of Election will no longer be a commissioner and eligible to vote.
Everald Warmington, MP for Southwest St. Catherine. Opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson has labelled as erroneous a statement by Prime Minister Andrew Holness that the country's debt-to-GDP ratio was 145% when the JLP administration took office in February 2016. Mr. Holness made the comment in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. However, Julian Robinson says the debt-to-GDP ratio was actually 115%.
The People's National Party wishes to set the record straight on an erroneous statement made by the Prime Minister Andrew Holness in Parliament yesterday on the country's debt-to-GDP ratio. In 2012, the country's debt-to-GDP ratio was 145%. It was reduced to 115% in 2016 when the PNP left office. It is therefore wrong for the Prime Minister to suggest that his party reduced it from 145 to its current level now.
Mr. Robinson says in 2012 the PNP inherited a challenging economic situation with the debt-to-GDP ratio at 145%. But he says prudent management by the PNP administration by 2016 saw that ratio fall.
In fact, it is worth noting that in 2007, when the JLP assumed office, the debt-to-GDP ratio was 107%, and in the 5 years when they left it, it went to 145. So the PNP actually started the downward trajectory of reducing our debt to GDP, which has continued with the present administration. But it is important for the record for the country to note that we started that process of moving it from 145 in 2012 to 116 in 2016.
Julian Robinson, opposition spokesman on finance. Survivors of the worst natural disaster to hit Spain this century awoke to scenes of devastation on Thursday. A report by the Associated Press says these scenes looked eerily similar to the damage left by a strong hurricane or tsunami. There were cars piled atop each other like broken toys, uprooted trees, downed power lines, and household items all marred in mud covering the streets of Barra de la Torre, a suburb of Valencia. It's one of dozens of damaged localities hit by monstrous flash floods between late Tuesday and Wednesday morning. Spain's National Weather Service said it rained more in 8 hours in the Valencian town of Chiva than it had in the preceding 20 months. The death toll is set to rise as search efforts continue, with officials removing bodies from vehicles. An unknown number of people remain missing. That's the news.
News at 7 was brought to you by Hyundai. Modern, premium, affordable vehicles.
Get it all in one go. Download and sign up now. The time by the 1JN Passport app is
7:16.
Deposit we have insurance. It's an account that come with assurance. Let me teach you why it's important to have deposit insurance. Just in case your bank crash dead, no need to put your hands by your head. Up to 1.2 million you get for all accounts that's affected. Yeah, one room you can start it, or throw a house party. Pay your mortgage with ease. JDIC is a smart win. Deposit we bring safety. JDIC them protect me. Bank and billing society protected. The flow you must get with. Protect your savings smart. We urging you to call me. Guarantee you need us. We take banking serious.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Drive Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Again, George, morning time to you, the listeners of Motoring Public, and it's still bright and sunny, but I want to point out something. Yesterday, the lights were out. It's mainly on the Trafalgar, Daily Musgrave, and Worthington Avenue intersection, and it was really causing some problems. So let's hope it is okay now, because when the lights are out, you know what happens. And currently, the lights at the top of Mountain View, that's Mountain View and Oak Road, to go across, as is northbound, to go across to Seaview Avenue. Those lights are out up to this morning, so let's see what happens. But in the meantime, another contrasting situation. Yesterday, going through the Richmond Park community was really bumper to bumper, but I understand that there was an accident in that area, Linders Road and Beechwood Avenue, so it really caused a ripple effect. It is much easier going through Richmond Park now. However, if you're on East Road, O'Mara Road, onto East Road, all these areas now have bumper-to-bumper traffic. Chisholm Avenue, yes. Traffic from all the way, from down the bottom of Walton, coming all the way up to get to Maxfield Avenue. It's not an easy situation now. So here we go. The second report for the morning and busy conditions. And by now, and even after this, most intersections and other areas will be beaming with traffic. So you just have to be careful in the way you travel. All right? So, as usual, at Street Smart, your safety is our concern. It's over to you, George.
Thank you very much, Ludlow. Ludlow McLean there with Street Smarts 2. Up next, Front Page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned into our discussion segment, The Front Page. This morning on The Front Page, the National Commercial Bank NCB says it's working to resolve technical issues affecting Uber transactions made by some customers using their Visa debit cards. In a statement on Wednesday, NCB says the issue resulted in transactions not being charged to customers' accounts, leading to unpaid balances and potential fraudulent activity. Dana Davy tells us more.
Scores of NCB customers are expressing concerns about lump sum charges being applied to their accounts for Uber rides. On social media site X, several customers complained about monies either being deducted from their accounts or liens being placed on their accounts. A lien is a claim or legal right to a debtor's property or other assets. Some social media users shared screenshots of their accounts with liens ranging from over $300,000 to $1 million. NCB says approximately 1% of Visa debit card holders, that's over 8,000 accounts, have been impacted. It says investigated transactions date back to May this year. The bank says during its review, it noticed that some customers completed an exceptionally high number of Uber transactions, with some exceeding 700 rides within a single month. NCB says this number indicated a possible misuse or exploitation of the issue. The bank says it has also temporarily frozen 300 accounts for further investigation due to unusually high volumes of Uber transactions. NCB says it has communicated with Visa debit customers regarding the funds owed and which will be processed for Uber transactions made. NCB added that it has processed the owed balances where there are funds in the accounts or temporarily placed liens on accounts with insufficient funds until the outstanding amounts are recovered. It says accounts flagged for suspicious activity will be blocked pending further review. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
For more now, we're being joined by NCB's Vice President for Payments, Services and Digital Channels, Daniel Cameron Duncan. Good morning to you, Daniel.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning. First of all, Daniel, what alerted NCB to this particular issue?
A few different things. I mean, I think it's important to say that typically a credit transaction is not a new transaction. So every day merchants will credit customers for either goods that weren't received or goods that have been returned. So we don't typically track credit transactions. What we did see in the last several months is an uptick in the number of credit transactions that were occurring, particularly on the Uber merchant transaction base. And so that raised significant red flags internally. I will say that over the course of this month as well, we had a couple of customers that would have called or come into the bank and said, listen, I've been, using Uber and I noticed that you haven't been deducted. That also personally came into us with a couple of customers, and we had started the investigation. And what we saw was that, in the cases, for example, where we talked about the 300 accounts that we froze, people were taking, over 700 Uber rides a month. That's 25 or more Uber rides per day. People were doing, 15 Uber rides in the course of an hour. People were leaving tips of $30,000, for example, for taxi drivers for doing an $800 transaction. So these are the types of things that we dug into the numbers. We said, we have some significant issues from a fraud perspective on some of the accounts. And in others, for the vast majority of the customers, I will say, because we're talking about 300 primary accounts, where that's obviously malicious intent for those accounts. For all of the other accounts, I think it is an accumulation of transactions, of rides that customers were taking that were not being paid for over the course of several months. So,
And just to break it out so our listeners can understand a little bit more, Daniel, you said that persons are also giving their Uber drivers $30,000 tips.
Yeah, so if we'll see one drive that costs $800 is a transaction, but what ends up happening is that they tip the driver $30,000. I've seen some discussions on social media about whether or not customers are taking a portion of that tip, but essentially then you weren't being charged for it. So you tip somebody $30,000, and then none of that hits your bank account because the debit is actually not being applied. And so, we saw some people taking advantage of the systems in that way, of the issue that was there in that way. And so we had to really take action to cauterize that immediately as we saw it.
So when they make the $30,000 tip and it's reversed, that money goes back to their account that they didn't have before.
Right. So I'll tell you how it works. So the way that the Uber app works is when you book a transaction, let's say you're going from New Kingston to Half-Way, and they say, okay, that transaction is going to cost, the estimate transaction is going to cost $800, right? So they do a debit to your account for that $800. When you get to Half-Way, they realize that, well, it wasn't quite $800, and you decide I want to leave a tip for $200 for the or it's $800, but I want to leave a tip for the driver for $200. Mm-hmm. So the transaction total value is now $1,000, right? The way the transaction works is it will reverse the first $800 that it took from your account, and then it will debit $1,000 to ensure that it covers the whole $1,000 transaction that you wanted to complete. In this scenario, what is happening is that the $1,000 was doing the credit of the first $800, but it wasn't applying the debit of the $1,000 at the end. So you were taking a trip, tipping a customer, tipping the driver for the $200, and the debit was not being applied to the account. So the bank now has the liability for the $1,000 that you actually were paying out. What I understand, some people were, and the customer never sees the $1,000 come off of their account. So the trip is free and the tip is free for you as a customer as you're looking at your account, right? Mm-hmm. So what I hear some malicious folks are doing was, for example, you would tip that driver $30,000. That driver would give you back $25,000 out of that, right? Because if them go and get it, you get $25,000 in hand, and the bank pays the full $30,000 plus the $800 for your ride. That's essentially how some people were engaging the system, right? And so that's the behavior that we really had to, clamp down on, in addition to sort of fixing the error that has allowed for people to ride Uber free for the last several months.
And preliminarily, Daniel, because in your press release, it indicated that this has been going on from about May. So that's about a 6-month period. Preliminarily, after NCB has done its checks, about how much is owed to the bank?
So we have not finalized those numbers at this time. I think 6 months, what I'll say is that 6 months is the data that we have assessed to date.
Okay.
And 6 months is what we have applied to date. We continue to investigate the records going back further than that. And so we haven't, at this point, I'm not in a position to communicate what the exact amount is that is owed, but I will tell you that it is multiple millions of dollars.
And are you able to indicate as well how much has been recovered?
No, not at this time.
All right. Hold the line, Daniel. We're going to take a break and come back with more.
Sure.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31.
Need equipment rental, repair, or sales? The Contractor Center has you covered. We also offer epoxy installation, stamp concrete, and construction chemicals, serving commercial, industrial, construction, and residential industries. Don't let everyday challenges hold you back. Visit us at 26 Shortwood Road or online at contractorcenterja.com or call 876-968-4816.
The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica and the Concert Chorale of Harlem present Eclat Opera, a breathtaking evening of arias, classics, spirituals, and jazz at the Little Theatre. 2 shows, November 16 and 17. Tickets at Monarch Pharmacy, Sovereign and Barbican, Fontana, Waterloo, Music Mart, and online at Eventbrite. The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica and the Concert Chorale of Harlem in concert November 16 and 17 at the Little Theatre. Main sponsors, the Jamaica Tourist Board and the Chase Fund. Details available on Facebook and the press.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Hurt less with Pharma Joint Flex. Taking Pharma Joint Flex daily helps to repair, replenish, and revitalize worn, damaged cartilage that causes joint pain. Do you suffer from arthritis and chronic joint pain? Then Pharma Joint Flex is the remedy for you. Our all-natural formula contains glucosamine and chondroitin, ingredients for joint repair, so you can get relief. Ask your pharmacist or doctor for Pharma Joint Flex, distributed by Massey.
Life gets busy, from work to play, but don't forget your health checks.
The NHF card now offers discounts on PSA tests and pap smears to help check for prostate and cervical cancer. Women 21 and over get a subsidy for pap smears every 3 years.
And men 40 and over receive an annual subsidy for PSA tests. Get your NHF card today.
The NHF is here for health. The NHF is here for you.
Payment Services and Digital Channels Vice President at NCB, Daniel Cameron Duncan, is here with us, shedding completely different light on this issue that had social media in a frenzy over the past few days, and people alleging that NCB had gone into their accounts and taken out money, and they were wrathful that the bank had done this. Now we're hearing an explanation that puts everything into context. Good morning again, Daniel.
Good morning again. Thanks for having me.
All right. So just to clarify a couple of points you made earlier. So you're saying that the bank is not that the bank, well, does the bank have a mechanism that detects something like this? I asked that because you said that you saw a spike in transaction activities, and then the reports from people who said, wait, I've ridden Uber and you've not done your deductions as you ought to. Is there something wrong? So I just wanted to reconcile if the bank has something in place that maybe didn't work in this instance where finding transactions of this nature is concerned.
Right. So we actually have made a significant investment in all of our fraud tools to continuously assess transactions for trends that look abnormal or for activity that, we are aware of as it relates to fraudulent transactions. As you know, fraud industry-wide is a full-time job, unfortunately,
yes.
Right? So we have measures, tools, AI that we're using that continuously assesses transactions. So why I mentioned that a credit transaction is not an anomaly, right? So when you look at a credit transaction, it doesn't stand out by itself as an anomaly, as a transaction we don't expect to see. So it was in the accumulation of the credit transactions that we were seeing for any one merchant. And we have tools that continue to assess the transaction trends to see what is something that is out of expectations. And Uber popped up as one of those merchants that transactions that did not seem normal in terms of the number of credits that we're seeing. And that's how we were able to identify it systematically.
All right. But all right. So bear with me again, because again, our job is to get as detailed as possible. When the reports came to you from those concerned customers, let's call them the good customers then, yes? When those concerns were reported to you, and then your reports would have showed you some trends, how long between that point and you physically going to take back monies from those customer accounts that were in breach?
Well, we spent about, I would say, a couple of weeks, because the first thing you have to do is to understand the issue. So first we started doing investigations as to why are we seeing some of the trends, and started looking at the trends and the details related to the transactions. Once we would have done that, then we need to go through and pull all of the transactions related to Visa debit transactions for that particular merchant and identify the customer accounts that would have been participating. So we process, over 200,000 transactions a day. So it is a lot of transactions. These are debit only, so it's not about credit. These are debit transactions with 200,000 transactions a day. So we have to go through those, identify the customers, make sure that we have all of the data related to the individual customers, and then set up the process for applying the transactions to the customer's accounts. So we wanted to make sure that we validated the information first. I would say it's a couple of weeks. We investigated, ensured we looked at, we understood what was happening. We immediately sort of froze the 300 accounts that we realized were malicious actors in particular. So again, it's 8,000 customers impacted. It's 300 accounts that were frozen, right? So it's not the vast majority of our customer base. It's 300 malicious actors. For further investigation by our fraud prevention team. And then we informed the customers that we had this issue and we were going to be taking action and would have applied the credits the following day. So that happened on Monday or Tuesday of this week.
Right. Okay. So just for the record again, why was what caused the fraudulent activity to be Visa debit centered? Is that because the majority of your customers are Visa debit customers rather than credit?
So it's set up for the way that the transactions work on a Visa debit card are different from how they work on a credit card, right? So the debit card does the immediate withdrawal from the account, as I was saying, and then it's the way that the transactions process in the system. Debit processes somewhat differently from credit. In the credit scenario, this wouldn't have happened because the transactions would have processed, the way in which transactions process, it's a delay processing activity which happens sort of a hold of credit and then an application of credit. In the debit scenario, the reason we apply the debit, like I said, the transaction works that you take a credit and then you apply a further debit. So it's a 3-part transaction as opposed to a 2-part transaction. It just adds some complexity to the system, and it just created this loophole where the debits were not being reapplied.
Yeah.
We are still investigating the why on that. Because that's not how it should work. But all credit transactions are processing as per normal for Uber.
Yeah, and just for the record, you said that those the accounts that you froze and the customers that hold those accounts, you gave them some form of communication before you actually took the monies. Is that what you're saying?
All of our Visa debit customers were informed that we have an issue in the transaction processing for Uber, and we were investigating and we would be taking action accordingly. All Visa debit customers, whether or not it was the specific customers in question or not, we did not, before taking the money out, obviously tell people that we're going to take the money out. I mean, I was looking at some discussions the other day. As soon as people started seeing the credits, they went to the ABM and withdraw all the cash. So that's not something in a fraud scenario that we typically, or in these scenarios that we would typically tell customers we're going to do ahead of it. We'll inform them as soon as possible thereafter. So what we did was we sent a general email to all of our customers to say, listen, there's an issue. We are investigating this. We are going to take action. But we didn't specifically say tomorrow we're going to credit the accounts for the difference. We then would have gone through the process of then notifying individual customers. But what we're saying to customers is, look, call us or email us at cem@jncb.com if you have any questions about the transactions that have been placed. The way that we posted the transactions to the account is we did them per individual transaction that was conducted to assist the customer in reconciling the trips that they took against the amounts that have been applied. So when you look at the postings that are in the account, you will see the dollar value for the transaction, you will see the date that you took the ride, you will see the transaction receipt, right, for that. So you can go back and look in your app and say, okay, yeah, I did travel that day, I did travel this day, I did travel that day. These are the specific days you didn't travel and you traveled on the amount. So we did it in that way to assist customers in the reconciliation. If there are still questions with that reconciliation, we are encouraging customers to email us at cem@jncb.com, and we're very willing to work through those details with you as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's important before, because I know you have it with me, that I want to say this as well. There are 300 customers that we know are actively malicious or are investigating out of their behavior, right? There are 7,700 customers that were riding as normal, right? And riding Uber and not being charged to ride Uber. We understand that an accumulation of transactions over 6 months can add up. Yeah. And those customers may not be in a position to pay that full balance off at one time. We're willing to look at that at an individual customer level. We're saying to you, reach out to us at cem@jncb.com. We are willing to look at payment options, right? Because understood, the charges are not being applied. You are not keeping track of it. An accumulated balance for all of the rides that you took over 6 months is now greater than you can afford to pay at one time. We are willing to work with you. Email us at cem@jncb.com.
And just to clarify, because that would have been my next question about those. I saw one for was it a $1 million lien, Tana?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But anyway, so for these big amounts that you are owed, you're saying that while you will be willing to discuss a payment arrangement, it is NCB's intention to recoup every last dollar. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the amounts owed, Daniel, range from a low of what to a high of what? Because as Georgia said, we were seeing a screenshot with a lien of over $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, so it's harder for me to say that. I mean, if you're not a regular Uber driver, right, user, right, you probably took one transaction. If you took one transaction in 6 months, then you have an $800 amount owed. If you took, again, I did the math on sort of $1 million worth of transaction divided by 800. I think it's something like 200 transactions a month, over 200 trips a month over the last 4 months, then you have a higher bill, right? For the number of transactions that you've done. So, like I said, we have some people that have 700 plus transactions done a month. So it really varies. It really can go from one transaction, and I suspect you will not hear from those people, to people that are doing apparently 700 plus transactions a month. You will owe over $1 million.
Yeah. Daniel, do things like these, for those who will have to submit themselves to discussing a payment plan with you, and for those who you've taken all your money back from already, do things like these damage the standing of those customers with the bank, long, medium term?
So for non-fraudulent activity, I would say no. What has to happen is, once we've worked through with the customer a payment plan, then it has no impact on your credit scoring or your relationship with the bank. Outstanding debts, however, which this will count as, that are not addressed through an arrangement with the bank, will have an impact on the customer's credit. So that's why I'm encouraging people to reach out to us to work through a plan, because once we've worked through that plan and you're fulfilling your commitments with that plan, then there is no impact on either your relationship or your credit score.
And accept this hypothetical, because I think it's necessary. If, for instance, the $1 million customer doesn't come in 4 months, 6 months to discuss this payment plan, does NCB reserve the right to take active steps to find that person and to get their cash by whatever means the law allows?
Yes. So that will turn into a regular debt collection activity.
Okay. And you reserve that right for any of the accounts under discussion?
Absolutely. I mean, that all outstanding debt falls under the regular debt collection activity.
Hear you on that. Thank you for your time this morning, Daniel. All the best.
Thank you as well. Take care.
Daniel Cameron Duncan, NCB's Vice President in charge of Payment Services and Digital Channels. Well, Tana.
Yeah. A lot of people made a business out of that glitch.
And as we were discussing off here, we're politicians on top of corruption.
Yeah.
And look at us.
I say it all the time.
Look at us.
I say it all the time.
Yes,
a lot of fingers, I think I said it in a What's on My Mind a couple of weeks ago, that a lot of fingers are pointed at politicians about being corrupt. But people should look in the mirror because here we have a prime example of Jamaicans also acting in a very corrupt manner.
Henry Morgan business this. Anyway, let's take the break and come back with more.
Listen up, motorists. Speeding burns more gas. So slow down. The life you save may be your own and also that of your loved ones. Slow down. Save lives and money. The time by the Insurance Association of Jamaica is
7:48.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
28 degrees Celsius in both Kingston and Montego Bay.
The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica and the Concert Chorale of Harlem present Eclat Opera, a breathtaking evening of arias, classics, spirituals, and jazz at the Little Theatre. 2 shows, November 16 and 17. Tickets at Monarch Pharmacy, Sovereign and Barbican, Fontana, Waterloo, Music Mart, and online at Eventbrite. The Philharmonic Orchestra of Jamaica and the Concert Chorale of Harlem in concert, November 16 and 17 at the Little Theatre, the Jamaica Tourist Board, and the Chase Fund. Details available on Facebook and the press.
When Sagicor Bank thinks of a woman, here's what we see. We see business leaders managing sole trader businesses to large corporations. We see university graduates as our women uplift themselves academically. We see more home owners, ambitious women working hard to build their own legacy. We see leadership at home, with women proudly providing for and taking care of their families. We see entrepreneurs, Jamaican women playing a leading role in our economic growth. At Sagicor Bank, we see the invaluable contribution of women in the home, communities, businesses, and development of our country. That's why we're in their corner, supporting Jamaica's women as they strive to achieve their dreams.
This October, Imperial Optical is celebrating their seniors. As a token of respect, Imperial Optical offers 20% off all frames for senior citizens all month long. Stay sharp, stay stylish, and save with advanced lenses for crystal clear vision, expert optometrists who care, and quality frames to fit your style. Visit them today and enjoy this exclusive offer.
I can see clearly now.
Drive Hyundai. Hyundai vehicles beyond your dreams with an exclusive 4.99% interest rate. Yes! Shop Hyundai vehicles and get a super low 4.99% interest rate on your car loan. Plus 2 years free service, 1 year insurance, and 5 years warranty. Offer valid on all 2024 Hyundai vehicles. Drive your Hyundai with the lowest interest, 4.99%. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You know, there was something else though that was sorry we never had more time with Daniel. But here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there are still questions for NCB about the internal systems because based on what Daniel explained, it seems as if. So she said one transaction is not an anomaly, obviously. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she said that it was only the accumulation of certain transactions of a certain type with a certain service. So that report said, well, on it, look upon this, and they saw the spikes, and they said, it looked like something wrong. And aligned with the reports from the good people, the good customers, honest people went into the bank and said, boy, why are they not taking no Uber money? Mm-hmm. Yeah, something right, something wrong, right? And then they say, you know, and then put 2 and 2 together, and they got 4. But I think that I can't imagine that that's how the system is designed to work. Because if you have a situation where one transaction, one ride for 8 bills, that's a good example she gave with the numbers. If there's an $800 ride from Pegasus in New Kingston to Clock Tower in Halfway Tree, and that costs 8 bills, and then on that transaction is a tip for $30,000, then my God, man, you're supposed to have something at that level to tell you that, wait, something wrong, yes, sir. And if there's something wrong there, or this, and continue the pattern theme, if there's something wrong this, then that should then further prompt an examination of transactions of that kind to see if there is any other anomaly or there are other anomalies. So perhaps it is, Tana, that the important thing was that those customers coming in to make those reports, because then that now caused perhaps the spikes that NCB saw to now make sense when perhaps it never made sense before. So I'm saying that the people who deal with the risk and the assessment, they may need to ask themselves some questions about the robustness of the system. And I can't imagine, Tana, that the system will work the same way from here on in. There has to be something different, because clearly they're not picking up on the amount of time, because you asked the question, you said from May? Yeah, 6 months, a long time.
And George, that's just what they have been able to check
established so far. Right. So it would seem as if there's a systemic issue there, NCB, that you need to pay serious attention to, if you're not paying serious attention to it already. Yeah, I know you folks there, you take these things very, very seriously, and you treat them, deal with them quickly. Yeah, so there's a systemic issue. But beyond that, as we say here every day, I gave the example several months ago. You go on wholesale and the place full, and you see a friend who is working behind the counter, and you beckon to them, and you give them your list, and you get your bag of grocery before the 50 people in front of you push like a gun, go to you're gone. You think nothing of it. If the politicians do that, if the Labour right them or the PNP them do that, you say them corrupt. You do something like this. You have a little cottage business established. Say I sell Uber rides, because there's no way I will take 25 Uber rides now one day. Yeah. 25 Uber rides in a month. 700 in a month. So clearly you're saying, yo, me have a Uber link, So if you want a Uber, just give me the money and me book the ride. If you where I go, from there to there, done. Just send on the cash, whatever. Or you tip your taxi man friend 30 grand and say, yo, 5 of you, 25 pack of mine. You do that and you laugh, because you're beating the system, and NCB have money, so them can't afford to lose it. Yeah? You don't think of that as corrupt. And then you will do that and then demand that you be led by a government that's not corrupt, or by one where there's no controversy of corruption around. And that's the kind of country we live in.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's sad.
You know what I was listening to from Daniel just now, when she said, well, they didn't inform those people who were exploiting the glitch ahead of time. They took their money, because you know what would happen. There would be a run on those accounts, those ATMs, to get all the money out before NCB could recover what was theirs. So NCB took their money. Boom, you go in your account, $0, or there's a lien, you have some money owed. It's going to be interesting, though, George, over the next couple of months to see how NCB goes about recovering all that money. She says multiple millions of dollars that is owed to them, especially from the 300 account holders who were really, really exploiting the system. How are you going to get back all of that money?
Well, here she said it. She said that they intend to get back every last cent. Yeah. So I expect the 300 memes to start flooding the internet today. Remember the movie 300?
Yes.
This is Sparta. This is fraud.
Yeah.
We laugh. But it is, when I saw the issue, I was paying half attention to it. I was away, as you know. So I said, well, on there, what do you mean by NCB going in their account to take out your money? For what? And them are course and them are going bad. NCB have to go down.
It did sound odd. And I was saying yesterday to Sandra, George, that so you go in your NCB app and your most recent transactions pop up immediately when you're about to do another one. And you're seeing these reversals and all of that. And you just leave it. Oh, I get back my money, no worries. And move along. Yeah. You're a thief too.
Yeah, I was out, and I think one of our friends on social media, Oral said, no, stop the damn nonsense, George. Politicians may hold higher level of accountability than the commentators. Yeah, Oral, that's true. But I'm just saying, Oral, that the people who fume and wrath about corruption, they themselves see nothing wrong with the things that make their life easier. And you're a principal, and your friend son, to get the grades to go to the high school where you want, But him come to you and say, boy, I do a thing. I say, yeah, man, bring him in. Ahead of other students who have better credentials who apply to you for the transfer. You know, give them because you say, boy, your school full. But you take your friend's son who's way below that level. These are the things I'm talking about. And I'm also saying that we have to ask ourselves the question. Is it okay to take from people who we believe they have money? That's another thing as well, you know. If the person poor, man, you can't rob the poor man. But if the man have money, or if the company is a big company, you feel say it's right, it's perfectly right for you to general the system and take from it. I was telling you the example of a court case in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court recently, where the couple, a Christian couple, I think some money, I don't remember which bank, and even if I remember, I wouldn't mention the bank. They transferred like 6 million to their account by accident. And according to the court, one of our good friends did the report from Lena. The couple told the judge that, boy, we see the money in our account in Iran and we wait 3 months now, we pray about it. We pray about it and then we say, well, if the transfer wasn't reversed and the money take back, then clearly it's a blessing God give you. And then we use the money must buy one vehicle. Must buy a Range Rover.
It's not funny, you know.
But you have to laugh to the ones you're going to do. The big respect to a Christian couple, them do that.
Yeah.
With money that was not theirs. You're on a cost them, you see. She cost them.
George, 3 months.
Yes, and then rather than go to the bank and
call the bank.
Then pray about it.
Oh,
pray about it at night time. God, if this is for us, please make it remain. And every day them pray, it's still there, still there. Then take the money and buy.
No. It's not your money. That's the point, you know. It's not your money. You didn't work for it. A family member. It's not remittance. It's not your money. And see, it come into your NCB account. The right thing to do is to call NCB. Hey, NCB, I see some money in this account. That is not mine. I don't know how it come about in my account. Yeah, but I don't want it to know, because you see, just like the fraudulent Uber people now. Well, let me put it this way: the fraudulent customers of NCB who exploited NCB's glitch. Yeah, it has caught upon you now.
Yeah.
It's not your money.
Yep.
You took the money and see what happened to you now.
Oh boy.
When money comes into your account and it's not yours, whichever financial institution you're banking with, it's not a blessing. It's not a blessing. It's not your money. It's the bank's money.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales. For a better choice in the electrical business.
Let Scotia Investments guide you towards a winning portfolio that will grow your wealth for generations to come. Call 888-429-5745 to learn more. The Time by Scotia Investments is
8:01.
Success, powered by learning. The Temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us, is
28 degrees Celsius in both capital city Kingston and out west in Montego Bay.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
Taking you across Jamaica this Thursday morning, I'm Tona Thomas. Almost 4,000 eye surgeries have been completed under the Jamaica-Cuba Eye Care Program since the program resumed in August 2023. That's according to the Health and Wellness Ministry. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says over 21,000 Jamaicans have so far benefited from the initiative.
The Cuban Eye Care Program has seen some 21,000 Jamaicans over the 12-month period. 17 Cubans, optometrists, ophthalmologists, and 5 locals, 5 Jamaicans, and they've really been doing a good job to enhance the the eye care program in Jamaica.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. The program offers cataract and other surgeries. And Dr. Tufton says those who wish to access the program must obtain a referral from a healthcare provider and visit St. Joseph's Hospital with a national ID for consultation. Procedures are done at St. Joseph's Hospital in Kingston Public Hospital, KPH. The newly renovated Catherine Hall Health Centre in St. James has been reopened. The facility was rehabilitated at a cost of $57 million under the government's Operation Refresh program, spearheaded by the National Health Fund. The scope of works included the addition of a cold storage room for vaccines, offices for environmental health and other staff, a lunch and conference room, an isolation room, and 4 consultation rooms. The waiting area and reception hall have also been expanded, and the facility is now fully air-conditioned. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton, who spoke during the reopening ceremony last week, noted that the upgrades were long overdue. He encouraged staff and patients to take care of the new amenities. Minister Tufton says Operation Refresh aims to improve Jamaica's primary healthcare facilities. He says the move is to make the facilities more comfortable and more user-friendly both for staff and patients. He says the intention is also to enhance the customer service experience. And that's it for Across Jamaica, and we now bring you the latest from across the Caribbean. The Caribbean News Desk for today, Thursday, October 31, 2024.
From the Caribbean News Desk, the morning edition. Good morning. I'm Kendall Morgan.
And I'm Dennis Chabot with the latest from across the Caribbean.
The Vincentian Parliament has cleared the way for most public servants to contest general elections without the loss of employment or job benefits. The new legislation ends the contentious requirements for public servants, including teachers, to resign their jobs at the loss of pension and other benefits. Public servants, with the exception of those holding very senior or legal offices, now have the option to take leave of absence from the job to contest an election. The bill was piloted in Parliament by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves.
If a person who holds or is acting in a public office intends to offer himself under this act as a candidate for election, the person must be absent on leave for the election period. To comply, the person referred to is required to take accrued leave or leave without pay.
The Parliament, through opposition, supported the legislation, but opposition leader Dr. Godwin Friday questioned the timing, coming after 3 teachers who were recent unsuccessful opposition candidates had to go through the courts to claim pension benefits.
I would like to say that I am happy to support this legislation because it gives effect to something that should have been in place a long time ago. But at the same time, I have to, Madam Speaker, balance it with all that I've said, understanding that the effect of the delay, without good reason, it's bittersweet, and that taste is not going to go away.
The 5-year term of the current Parliament ends in November next year.
Haiti's powerful gangs are digging trenches using drones and stockpiling weapons as they change tactics to confront the Kenyan-led police force deployed to wrestle back government control. A United Nations annual report says violence has spiked with more than 3,600 homicides and 1,100 kidnappings between January and June, and 85% of the capital, Port-au-Prince, now ruled by the gangs. The UN says gang leaders have strengthened defenses for the zones they control and placed gas cylinders and Molotov cocktail bombs ready to use against police operations. The French news agency AFP quotes the reporter saying that the gangs intimidate security forces by broadcasting videos showing the weapons and ammunition that they have recently acquired despite an arms embargo being strengthened. Human shields are another new tactic, with civilians prevented from evacuating, trapped in their homes, and killed if they try to escape.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce wants the government to reduce the number of work permits for unskilled workers from outside the Caribbean community, CARICOM. Director of the Chamber, Kevin Thompson, told a national budget consultation yesterday that if no action is taken, the employment rate among Kittitians and Nevisians will remain high.
While the government has created social programs to offer employment, the Chamber believes that this challenge presents an opportunity for a strategic review of the policies governing work permits for unskilled labor from outside the CARICOM region. as each work permit issued for unskilled labor from the Asian continent and otherwise contributes to unemployment and effectively increases the number of persons on work programs such as STEP, which may become financially unsustainable in the short term.
Jamaica's outgoing Finance Minister Nigel Clarke says his government's focus has been on improving quality of life rather than merely handing out huge salary increases. In his final address to Parliament before he takes up duties as Deputy Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund (IMF), Dr. Clarke said the minimum wage has increased by 250% in Jamaican dollar terms and 88% in US dollar terms. He, however, says the Jamaican government has guarded against focusing heavily on pay hikes.
If we focus on income alone, we will not improve quality of life. Because when you are at an income level of $12,000 a week, moving it to $14,000 a week, though a big movement, does not transform a life. What transforms lives are public investments that improve the quality of public services. And which is why I've been such a fervent believer and I've worked so assiduously on the buses, on the garbage trucks, on the stadium, on the hospitals, on the parks.
Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness yesterday named his Education Minister as the new Finance Minister to replace Dr. Nigel Clarke, who has moved on to the International Monetary Fund. Minister Williams, who is a chartered financial analyst by profession, was among new appointments which the Prime Minister says will help pivot the country towards a growth-oriented economic policy.
The Honourable Favour Williams, MP, will assume duties as Minister of Finance and the Public Service. Senator Dr. the Honourable Dana Morris Dixon will assume duties as Minister of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. These appointments are designed to maintain stability and minimize disruption in the functioning of the government, but at the same time, pivot towards a growth-oriented economic policy.
Before we go, we want to wish Happy Diwali holiday to the people of Guyana, Suriname and Trinidad and Tobago as they celebrate the Hindu Festival of Lights.
This has been the morning edition from the Caribbean News Desk. You may contact us by phone or WhatsApp at +592 700 9293. Thanks for listening.
Horton's RX, the caring pharmacy, the Yes We Can pharmacy, the Yes It's in Stock pharmacy, the House Call Delivery pharmacy, the RX Pack mobile app pharmacy, the RX Plus digital wallet pharmacy, the 20% reward pharmacy, the easy to remember number pharmacy, 876 RX0 RXRX, the easy access 24/7 pharmacy, Horton's RX, the convenient pharmacy, #wellness, #simply delivered.
Looking to add a touch of elegance to your room? The Lighting World by Fosrich is having a massive lighting blowout sale. Get your wall lamps, chandeliers, ceiling lamps, fans, and more at amazingly low prices. Sale begins Sunday, September 29, with up to 50% off selected items. It's the Fosrich Lighting Blowout Sale, September 29. Shop and save only at Fosrich. Open Sundays.
With Jamaica Automobile Association, membership is a win-win. Enter the JAA Fuel Up promotion, and you could win the grand prize of JAA Gold membership for 1 year, plus fuel valued at $240,000. Just purchase, renew, or upgrade your JAA membership, or use your individual JAA Advance card to buy at least $10,000 of fuel a month. So, fuel up! There's also monthly prices of $20,000 in fuel. Enter now. JAA Fuel Up promotion ends December 13, 2024. Conditions apply.
Me grew up as my granny save her money under her mattress. But at an old time something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And because I want to buy a little house, I also save in a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So, what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Make I tell you something. With the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Building Blocks is brought to you by the Contractor Center, providing solutions to everyday challenges.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. It's now time for Building Blocks, sponsored by the Contractor Center, your source for construction news and information. So, thin set is a type of mortar made of cement, sand, and water retention agents, and it's designed specifically for adhering to tile to walls. A thin set is widely available at home improvement stores, where it either comes as a dry mix that users can add water to in order to create a spreadable slurry, or in pre-mixed buckets that users can open and spread right away. In the Building Blocks segment today, we're featuring the mortar adhesive porcelain MPI 720. To tell us more about this product, we're being joined by the CEO of the Contractor Center, Andre Hutchinson. Hey to you, Andre.
Good morning, Tana. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Alive and well.
Wonderful. Happy Thursday to you. So, Andre, this morning we're talking about the mortar adhesive porcelain MPI 720. For our listeners or viewers, me myself, not quite familiar with this product, what exactly is it?
Okay, thank you for that question. It's a high-performance polymer modified thin set mortar, specifically designed for porcelain tiles. It's a premium level thin set, meaning you can use for bigger tiles, and you can use on walls and on floors, and in high traffic areas.
And how is it used? Of course, we have for our viewers a demo of how it is used going now on our Nationwide 90 FM YouTube channel. But for our listeners, if you could explain, Andre, how it is used.
All right, great. Thank you. So Design Diva came by earlier in the week, and we did some demos.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's a dry mix, and basically it comes in a 50-pound bag, and there you add water to it. Specific amount of water to have the right consistency, and you mix it, and then you apply it on the ground where you're applying it, or on the back of the tile, and you apply it to the area that you're doing. I think what we did, we showed using it on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the person who is doing the demo just did the application and is about to apply it to the wall. Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, a key feature of this is superior adhesion. So if
Yes.
you could talk to us some more about that, Andre, that sticking to the wall, for example, because the person used a tile.
Yeah, so porcelain tiles are different from ceramic tiles in that they don't have as much, they're not as porous, right? So there's less space for mortars to bond into it. So the way that the 720 is created, it creates a strong bond that ensures your tiles stay in place, and it really has a lot of adhesion to the back of it and to the area, so you get a strong bond.
Mm-hmm. And you said, for example, the one that we're showing, it was applied to the porcelain and then stuck to the wall. But where else did you say that the product can be used, or how else can the product be used?
Okay, so it can be used floors, walls, in pools, in wet areas, and high traffic areas. It has very good. It's very flexible, and so you can use it in so many different ways. Of course, walls, floors, countertops, swimming pools.
Tell me about the pool. How is it used in the pool?
So some pools they use, instead of using like a diamond bright or something like that, they would use tiles on the base of the pool, and so in the water. So the type of thin set you would need for that, you could use this thin set to put down those tiles that you use in the pool because it doesn't degrade with water.
And Jermaine was just asking to Andre if it can be used as a sealant.
No. So the thin set is used underneath the tile to bond to other areas. It doesn't. It's not for exposed. Not for exposure.
And are there any other, outside of what we're seeing on screen now, are there any other special preparation or application instructions that users should be aware of?
But one of the things I'd say that is good about this product is that it has an extended working time. So, sometimes, I know the applicators will know this, is that when you're putting down your tiles and you have to kind of shift it to make sure it fits properly and line up properly.
Right.
It gives you some time to to move it around, right? And so you end up getting a better job, a better look, a better feel, And so I think that's one of the more unique benefits of it. And of course, working with large tiles always has its own unique problem. And so this allows you the flexibility with these large tiles, your 2x2, your 3x3s, your 4x4s, to be able to say, to line it up properly,
Right. And you said it comes in a bag, and it seems like the whole bag that can go a very far way if somebody is putting down a lot of porcelain tiles. How much is the cost per bag, Andre?
Cost per bag for a porcelain tile is 2,000 Jamaican dollars per bag.
So $2,000 per bag. For those who are listening, they're
I don't
interested
think you
in
can
the
find a
product.
better price in Jamaica,
I don't think so either, Andre. That's pretty good. So $2,000 per bag. Yeah, go ahead, Andre.
And one other thing is that I know a lot of the tin sets on the market here require you to use sand so like when the floor is uneven and you have to make some places higher, some places lower, they have to add sand to the thin set to be able to create the right type of levels, right? The great thing about the 720 that we sell, you can go, as I like to say, you can butter it very high. You can do it on a very thick application without adding any additional sand or anything. So it limits the amount of cost that you need in terms of adding additional materials.
Right.
And it creates, and it also, there's a lot of flexibility in the product in that, as you know, I think early in the summer we had quite a few, shocks to the system with some earthquakes, and that tends to move the earth, and it creates cracks where we never knew cracks existed. But the great thing about this is a flexible product. So what happens is it creates you can go over cracks. You can actually navigate some amount of protection of your tile from breaking because the product has a little flex in it.
Okay. And any final tips you want to give to our viewers or listeners who are considering the MPI 720 for the next tiling project?
Well, I think thanks for that question. I think I think the MPI 720 is just one of those really flexible products that allow you working time to be able to have very successful product, and it has the strength and the adhesion to make sure people have a long-lasting solution. Because the last thing you want to do is when you do your tile work, for it to start pop up, just so.
Yeah.
And of course, I know our other products are available at the Contractor Center, 26 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. And I think the last time I spoke there, I told you that we would have an online opportunity for clients. So our online store is up and running on Cool Market, and you can buy our products through Cool Market and have it delivered to you.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, so your products are this is an app, a website.
This is a website. So coolmarket.com is an online platform in Jamaica. They service the entire island. You just order and they will organize to have it delivered to you.
Great. So All you need to have is your card details ready. Load up your
Absolutely.
baskets from the contractor center's storefront that is there on Cool Markets, and you can make your purchase and have the items delivered to you. Andre Sophia Morgan here on YouTube is asking if the thin set adhesive color comes in light gray or white.
It's in gray. It's in gray.
Okay, Sophia, so that's your answer. It's in gray. I know you did give out your address for Contractor Center, Andre, but your contact details as well if somebody wants to call in and query about the MPI 720 or any other product.
All right. So again, 26 Shorter Road, Kingston 8. You can call us, 876-925-5700. And all the demos of all the products that we talk about are on our TikTok page, handle the Contractor Center. So everything we talk about, you can see what it looks like on our TikTok page.
Wonderful. Andre Hutchinson, who is the CEO of the Contractor Center, talking to us this morning about the mortar adhesive porcelain MPI 720 that is, of course, available at the Contractor Center now. Andre, as usual, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Take care, Tana. Have a great day.
You too. Gonna take a break and come back with more.
Building Blocks was brought to you by the Contractor Center, providing solutions to everyday challenges.
Crisp and refreshing. Room temperature or chilled, a Pure Water would drink. The time by Pure Water is
8:24.
Upgrade your HVAC system with Geddes Refrigeration Limited. They specialize in engineering, project design, and implementation of the perfect system tailored to your home or business. For top-notch service and unbeatable reliability, trust Geddes Refrigeration Limited. Email them at grljasocialmedia@gmail.com or call 876-923-652-1-3 or visit 226 Spanish Town Road, Kingston 11. Don't wait. Stay cool with Geddes Refrigeration Limited today. Your comfort is their priority.
Data Protection Matters is brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Welcome to another episode of Data Protection Matters, powered by Design Privacy here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm your host, Chantal Thompson. We have with us Chuck Cameron, founder of Design Privacy and a data privacy expert. Welcome, Chuck.
Hi, Chantal.
Right, so as promised, we have been discussing tools that DPOs and organizations may need. Chuck, the floor is yours.
Thanks. So last week we started to introduce e-learning platforms to discharge that training obligation that all data controllers have. And it is not only necessary that you have the ability to deliver relevant content that is easy to assimilate and is engaging, but you also have to be in a position to demonstrate and prove to the Office of the Information Commissioner that you have discharged this responsibility. Mm-hmm. So any solution you're looking at, ensure there's some sort of robust reporting and analytics. And we have to take it for granted that the content is based on the Jamaican Data Protection Act, not the GDPR or not some other general privacy law, but it must be based on the Jamaican Data Protection Act and go further to reflect the controls that you have implemented. We also introduced a tool to manage your records of processing that would have been compiled and is otherwise referred to as your registration particulars. You have to be in a position to maintain those records of processing. It must be of use to a manager for a business unit who is asked to respond to a data subject access request. He must have the ability to easily identify those documents or personal data items that are being processed and not get lost in the quagmire of a overpopulated Excel sheet.
Right. Is there like a template? Is there a proper format, or you just have to?
Of course, there is a template. Well, there is a form that you fill out and submit to the Office of the Information Commissioner. The question is, from the data controller perspective, how do you make that information retrievable?
Right.
How do you turn that data into actionable information? And we are suggesting that you may need more than just an Excel sheet. The next challenge that you're going to be faced with is conducting a data protection impact assessment. That is the most technical and critical exercise that data controllers will be required to conduct. That is where you actually assess the risks that data subjects are exposed to as a result of the processing. Apart from the technical challenges of conducting the exercise, because one does require technical training to properly conduct a data protection impact assessment, you would also need tools to store the information, and better yet, imagine if there were a tool that would help you conduct that data protection impact assessment and take all the difficulty and mystery away that is associated with a data protection impact assessment. A lot of us may not appreciate the challenges of conducting a data protection impact assessment because you may have only now
been introduced to it.
Not even introduced to it, but you would have only now filed your registration particulars.
Right.
You may still be struggling with filing your registration particulars. That's straightforward. While it may appear to be a heavy lift, it is the easy part. The most technical part is conducting that data protection impact assessment. So we have taken the 5 years experience we have had in the field, and we have been able to develop a tool that significantly lightens your load and does the work for you, and not only conducts a data protection impact assessment, but generates a robust report that can then be submitted to your board and can then be submitted and presented to the Office of the Information Commissioner where necessary.
Okay, isn't the due date for the DPIA coming up soon?
In a strict accordance with the law, yes, but we do anticipate that we'll get further directions from the Office of the Information Commissioner.
All right, thank you for that, Chuck. And if you're a DPO looking for tools to support your work, the Open DPO Community is a perfect place for you. You can sign up at opendpocommunity.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at design_privacy, and also connect with us on LinkedIn at Design Privacy. Stay informed and stay secure.
Data Protection Matters was brought to you by Design Privacy. We help you comply and build trust.
Halfway through Balmoral Slip Road, Papine. Halfway through Balmoral Slip Road, Papine.
You alright?
Yeah, just trying to map out all the National Bakery wholesale locations. So anyway, me there in Kingston, we can pull up on a National Wholesale and get me bread and snacks cheaper than anywhere else.
But Bird Boss, you forget one. The newest one at that, with whole heap of parking. 3 miles, 207 Hagley Park Road.
Wow, another one?
National Wholesales, where every deal's a steal. It's always national.
The 5% Club is now taking new members. Sounds exclusive? We don't want it to be. You see, it's made up of less than 5% of women who get screened for breast cancer in our country each year. At Sagicor, we've made it our mission to help to change the statistics. In fact, with 5,000 more women getting screened, we can officially become the 6% Club. And we won't stop there. So please get checked. Early detection saves lives. Go to bit.ly/5% Club JA.
Imagine opening a bank account without ever leaving your home. Well, at CIBC Caribbean, we've changed the game. Open a new CIBC savings or checking account completely online using your computer or phone, anywhere, anytime. No need to visit the bank, no waiting in line. Just apply, verify, and sign your documents, all online. It's secure, seamless, and 100% digital. Open your new CIBC account by applying online today.
Shop Shop and win a mega kitchen from Megamart. Spend $6,000 or more before GCT at any Megamart location and fill out the entry form provided for a chance to win a brand new stove, fridge, and microwave this Christmas from Appliance Traders Limited. Visit us on social media to win monthly prizes courtesy of Lasco, Grace Foods, and Facey Commodity Company Limited. Promotion runs from September 30 to December 6th. Shop now to win a mega kitchen from Megamart. The best value by far. Conditions apply. Must be 18 years or older to enter. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
So where you get? The new Popeye's blackened chicken sandwich, my girl. The flavor just hits different. Blackened? Like it burn up? Nah, man. Blackened because of the color of the Louisiana herbs and spices. Blackened like the flavor buck. No breading and the seasoning soaked deep in the chicken. But get yours and try it, cause me nah share yours. Get the new Popeye's blackened chicken sandwich. Limited time only.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. Time now for your calls. The number is 630-9371-4, 630-9371-4, and 618-8255. Alric, good morning to you.
Tana, morning, George.
Morning, sir, morning.
You go chatting, George. Welcome back again, man.
Thank you, man.
Tana, you look great.
Oh, you're watching on YouTube as well. Thank you, Alric.
Yeah, man. George.
Yes, sir.
I listened to your chat this morning and you and Tana with the NCB thing. A lot of people in this country, you know, when if you pull off robbery and rich people, they say there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Yes.
They don't see it as anything, you know.
Yes.
They say you must rob poor people, but you can't rob the rich people. And boy, I'm tell you sometimes when you hear that, you know, you wonder how we think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so your commentary was very good, was very insightful, and I saw where you were saying that somebody was saying to you that corruption is. Somebody was telling you that certain things are not corruption.
Yeah, man. Yeah, if a thief from the bank or you exploit loophole from a service provider, a business people, nothing wrong with that.
Boy, I'm telling you, George, what Antana, what a sad thing at Campion, man.
Yeah.
Trust
it's
me, man.
Very, very sad. My condolences to the family and to the school.
Yes.
But George, maybe Tana is too young, or maybe she was at Hampton then. Something like that happened a couple of years ago, didn't it?
A goalpost.
Kill, and it's somewhere. Check it out and let us know, George, because I'm certain that something like that happened a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A goalpost fell on a student, and you.
Now that you mention it, something is coming to me. Not clear, but I'll check it for you though.
Check it out.
But you know the thing is, Eric, I was saying to Jermaine that normally girls don't do these things, but boys, you know how much time we swim on goalpost. You know how much
I used
time.
To man, jump up and swing pan the man.
Yeah, man, it's a regular thing that man.
Yeah,
if you see who could have swing the longest and who could, especially when you're short, if you could, I used to have to climb the post to get to the top. Yeah, but we did a swing.
Along the long side,
yeah, man.
The length of it and see who can do
it faster. A regular thing, regular something.
Regular, I'm just so sorry and just feel the way that it's happening. You know? So, you know, let's extend our condolences and that to the people. You guys have a good day.
Thank you.
Tana.
Yes, Alric.
Keep up the look. And George, what happened to the Grinch? No Christmas carol, nothing?
No, man, him not say no, you know. Him say because him team, a member of him team play the song out of turn. Him never authorized him to play nothing.
Oh my goodness.
And him say him about delay the playing a Christmas carol by 1 week.
I know we do it, remember.
You should protest, Alric.
Alric, the man said the wages of sin is death.
It's not free with the listeners, though. A team member, I must punish him. Man. All right, guys, big up on yourself.
Yeah, man, cool.
All right, cool.
William, good morning.
Good morning, T. Good morning, George.
Morning, sir.
To you.
Welcome back, boss.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, back to the goalpost thing there. It's the second time this thing happened underneath this up that area there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, it happened at the prep school.
Which one?
St. Peter and Paul Prep School.
Oh, wait.
That's what I see the YouTubers saying as well. At least
Oh.
3 YouTubers have said.
Yeah, man, it happened, man. I don't know the look but I know his father.
Tragic, man.
Yeah. But I was thinking now, you see,
Yes.
why they don't get rid of the galvanized pipe and put in the PPC? You have some strong, hard pressure PPC pipe.
Yeah.
We can serve for years.
Yeah.
Right? And these pipe, if anything even happen, it not getting hurt, you might get a little leakage because plastic.
Mm-hmm.
But they know it can damage it to kill you.
Yeah, but you see, I mean, anything, anyway you go, Makajuki, because as you know, William, I mean, boys all over this country, generations of boys, have been doing the same thing that Rashad was doing, and nothing happened.
Yeah, I know, but that's why we should try put in something now where, you know, they're not going to stop. But if these things will happen, it not going to really reach to this to what happened now.
So you're saying replace the metal gold frame with the PVC?
Right.
Okay.
Get rid of the galvanized and put in the PPC.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same size pipe them.
Yeah.
Right? And you can screw up everything and whatever. You can screw and pull it down if anything damaged.
Yeah.
You can just screw it down and do what you do. It's much easier for angle also.
All right.
And I was listening to her speaking to the gentleman from the one about the tin set there.
Yes.
Right, and I hear you ask him pertaining if it can stop leak, something like that.
Yes.
Right. It can stop, might be him don't know, but it can stop leak. I don't know if you know how to do it, but I'm not really say it on the air, but it can stop because we use it. Right now we use it for my house stop here.
Oh, yeah, German was asking about the sealant and he was saying no.
Right, right.
Okay.
It can do it. And many people can't tell who do it. But it can do it.
Okay.
Well, I must say, although he might be the manufacturer, but maybe he must know. Because a lot of things we manufacture make. But see the workman out there use it, then go much further.
Okay.
It just come like paint. They tell you when you're using paint, you have to make the wall dry before you use the paint. And me have a cousin, and he tell me it's a joke. We see him granite the wall same time, and as him granite it and brush it off, we see him paint it. And that paint dry soaking not only there for years. So, you know, people experiment different more than what the manufacturer make.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, man, take care.
All right, William.
Yeah.
So George, GM found the story. I was searching for it, but she was quick on the draw than me. She sent the story. It was in 2011.
Okay.
The incident happened in 2011 at St. Peter and Paul Prep. The child was 9 years old. Yeah, the lead said tragedy struck at Upper St. Andrew Prep School Thursday afternoon after a football goalpost fell on a male student at the school's premises, snuffing out his life. As I said, he was 9 years old. Incident happened around midday at that school in 2011. There's a RJR story that was pulled up.
Morning. William just gone. Oh, Anthony, morning.
Yes, morning, George. How are you doing?
Good.
Wonderful. In addition to what William was saying a while ago about goalposts, I think the problem with goalposts is not that it's made of galvanized or PVC or what. It's that in the days when you and I used to swing on the goalpost, it was actually planted in the ground, so it wouldn't topple over. Now they're making it with this horizontal piece, and it just sits on the ground. So
you have a point because they move it out in and out of position all the time. Exactly. You're right, because the ones that we swung on, that no move, that the fixture that plant several feet deep. Yeah, you're right.
That is what the problem
You're right.
is.
Yeah. That's the issue. That's a part of the problem for true. Yes, you are right.
So all they need to do is to make some holes in the ground that they can, if they need to move it, it can be slipped out of the holes and moved and then put back in. But as long as they're just putting it on the surface, it's going to top.
Yeah. Because they move it, because they use the field for all kind of things, and they need the goalpost in all kind of different positions. So maybe that's a part of the issue as well. Yes, the ones that we did swing on, yeah, man, them they plan deep for decades.
Yeah, man. All right.
Yeah, man.
Just my little bit.
All right. Thank you. All right. So, we again, condolences to the family of young Rashad and his school family as well. I mean, the whole school shaken up. You can imagine how news like that would go down in any school.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing you say is that, boy, parents shouldn't have to bury their children. And you can now think about various things that you can do to improve safety, to enhance safety. Children will play because it's what children do. It's what children are made to do. You always hear people tell people they ram too much all them something there, you laugh to yourself and I say, well, and they, like what? So you have a child that sits still all day. Something wrong with that child? That's not a child. That's not a normal child. Yeah. Yeah, so and especially the boys are far more daring than girls. We know this. So the things we did and got away with it, miracle. Many of us made it this far without broken bone, broken limbs, and cracked skulls and all that. The things that we did. There's a game we played in primary school.
Yeah.
Called Butter Boy. I don't know where the name come from, but it don't really relate nothing to the game. So here's what we would do. We would climb a big tree. It couldn't work in a small tree because the tree had to be big enough to accommodate a lot of boys. So we would climb to the highest point in the tree. Usually it was a plum tree. Which one is the plum now? Not the coolie plum. The coolie plum, yeah. Not the coolie plum. Not the hog plum. The coolie plum.
Okay.
Coolie plum. Mm-hmm. Climb the plum tree. And so, like, say for instance, a dozen boys went up. Then Butter would be the boy at the base of the tree who would then take out his leather belt. And his mission... That's not laughing.
Because
his mission now was to climb that tree and whop any boy he could catch. So you'd be safe if you went up on a flimsy limb.
But
so he wouldn't go there because the toe limb couldn't support the toe of your weight. Or he would go on a nearby limb, stretch and be wailing away with the belt. Yeah, man. So the thrill of it was to escape Butter. Yeah, and so men would be jumping because he'd be coming on your limb, whopping, whop. Man get licking a head in a face, all about, and it was a regular game. And looking back at it, I say, but if my parents and me are playing this. Yeah, first of all, they would have attacked Butter. The first thing, whoever Butter was. And then Butter was now the best climber because you had to be a very adroit climber.
Yes.
To be holding on to the one hand and climbing while having a whaler belt in the other hand. It was and I don't know if any listener has played that game ever before, but it was hugely popular. We saw the bigger boys doing it, and we wished the only thing was that you'd always have some people policing the game to say, no, you too little, you can't play. So you have to get a certain stage, a certain size, grade 4, I think from grade 4 up, we were playing. Yeah, man. And we saw, so it was a rite of passage. You saw the older boys doing it, you waited until your time, then you started doing it. And they didn't mix the age groups, so you couldn't have grade 6 playing with grade 5 or grade 4. They must have known a wickedness that. So in your grade, your time. And it was every lunch. We couldn't wait for the bell ring for lunchtime. You hurry up, eat your food, and you go and play.
I only came close to something like that. I didn't even say close either, but I played last league.
No, sir, last league team. Tana, I'm talking about a big hell of a tree. It's not a small tree. If you drop out of a tree, then you have a break hand and foot, And that was a part of it. The skill was to escape Butter while not falling. And if you fell, you landed on your feet, you climb back the tree again. Climb past Butter. It might lick you as you're forward up,
Wow.
Yeah, man, and it was just thrilling. And it used to be a huge spectator thing, so a lot of people were attracted watching it happen. Yeah, man.
What was it called?
Butter Boy.
Butter Boy.
The boy, I changed it from boy to something else. It was something else, but me I said Butter Boy.
Okay, gotcha.
It was another B. Where get the name from? I don't know. But there you go. Anyway, break and come back with birthdays.
Make a plan to stay on top of your mortgage. Stick to it. Pay on time. The time by the NHD is
8:47.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
He's smiling, and that's because of me. He's happy, I want the world to see. We're living ever happily. I'm wondering.
So here Leroy wrote, I think George Davis has now become Jamaica's liar storyteller. Mighty God, the man just make up stories as he goes along. Here Trevor Johnson now. Yes, George, I used to play that game and fell and break my hand. Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I'm telling you. So see, Trevor Johnson says he used to play that game. So Leroy, it might seem fantastic, but it was a real game. And I was saying to Tana, what used to happen is that if butter corner you up in the tree on a limb that you look down here, realize it's a long way to the ground. You don't want to jump down. Yeah, and you can't swing on another limb. So you have to stay on the limb and you have to cover up as best as possible because butter is wailing away. Whop, whop, whop.
So you can't lick butter?
No, we're going to use
a branch?
No, you can't break no branch. No, man. And then, if everybody was getting away from butter, say by the time he scrambled up the tree, you jump and you swing from limb to limb and you come out of the tree and run up back again. What he would do now, when you get angry now, is turn the belt the other way and start swinging the buckle end.
No.
Lord have mercy. You see, the real thing, and we played those games every day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Butter the villain.
Trevor Johnson says at lunchtime we used to play. See, yeah. I don't like that. Tell.
My games are a real tame. Sightings and the one with the elastic bands. What's it called again?
Marble, we play with not that?
The one
Cowboy,
that you jump.
The ones on the, Chinese skip.
Chinese skip. And hopscotch.
You ever see boys playing salada kick?
A what?
Salada kick. So it's a game of football with a
you
with
know
a
that,
box.
Jeremy?
So Jeremy, all right. Salada kick now. So if you got salad, if they put the ball between your legs, everybody just run and start kick you. So that happened to me once in high school. And my pants burst, my trousers split inside the inside seam, bust out big time. And
your granny did manage you.
Listen, Mr. McGranny go mental, and not just the span split, the shoe polish. So what you used to do, you used to put on the polish on your shoes thick, because you have a place that kicker, you kick somebody and rub off the polish on their pants so the pants are spoil. So when I reach home the evening, my khaki pants was now blackened and the inside seam split, and I had to be holding it together with my hand as I traveled home. Let's just say my granny went mental.
Of course.
Yeah. The last day that we played
man. It's that time of the morning where we tell some very special people happy birthday and happy anniversary. A very special birthday here, a VIB, very important birthday. Happy 23rd birthday. This one says, to my favorite middle child, Muna Razana, what a miracle and blessing you have been throughout our lives. We wish for you all the happiness and success life has to offer. Happy, happy birthday, Princess Muna. From your mom, Lynette, your auntie Marcia, sister Mia Ray, your cousin Giovanni, and the entire family. Happy, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday greetings also going out to ACP Donovan Graham over there at Area 4 HQ. It's also the birthday of Sergeant Oran Malcolm at the Trelawney Police Division. Retired teacher Exford Gale in Sav. Owen Carter also in Sav. Melissa Davidson in Sav as well. Happy birthday to all of you. Happy birthday greetings also going out to Fabian McCree in Trelawney, Suzanne Brodson in Kingston and Sav. Happy birthday to you, Suzanne. And happy birthday to Christopher Robb. All of these greetings are coming from Sergeant Wayne Wallace over there at the Trelawney Police Division. Happy, happy birthday to all of you. Over on Facebook, happy birthday to Tremaine Nesbeth, Nicole Forrest, Sharon White. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to George Nooks. It's your birthday.
What?
Yeah.
When? you have trouble. Don't cry.
Indeed. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Charms and Nicole Forrest, Andre Williams, Kiara A. Hall, Ariana Anderson. Happy birthday as well to Karen Ellis. It's also the birthday of Renee Newman, and Mitzi Curveness is her name on Facebook. Happy birthday to you, Mitzi, and happy birthday to Dennis Hickey. Checking to see if there are any other birthdays. Yes, there's a VVIB, a very, very important birthday. Happy birthday to Sharmika Wholeness. Happy birthday to you. Hope you have a good birthday as well.
So the same butter B, right?
Yes.
Linton Hunter says, George, 1968, I missed my balance playing that game at an all-age school and sprained my left hand that troubled me even to today when it gets cold.
Wow.
You know what I tell? Danger, and no teacher ever appeared on the school playground to say, boy, what I do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? We just, and looking back now, that was so daring and risky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems a couple of people had their mishaps.
Yup. Broken and spraying and
playing Butter Bee. But those are the birthdays. Happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday today. Rupert Wilson is sending a happy birthday to son Kaysen. Happy birthday to you, Kaysen. Hope you have a good one. Not seeing any other birthdays. No. So happy birthday to you.
Missed it. You have to do it again.
Watch out. All right, cool. Because listeners, YouTubers, she videos these things, you know. So if you're celebrating your birthday, happy birthday to you. And if it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well. So because it's such a special birthday, we have to do it twice. Happy 23rd birthday to my favorite middle child, Muna Razana. What a miracle and blessing you have been throughout our lives. We wish for you all the happiness and success life has to offer. Happy birthday, Princess Muna, from your mom, Lynette, your auntie Marcia, sister Mia, your cousin Giovanni, and the entire family. Have an amazing day.
Thank you. So a lot of boys who I see several people in the chat saying that their sons are madding them with the games they play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's hard to raise boys at primary school, especially more than anything else. You really see a girl with a broken hand or a broken foot. Always the boys.
Yeah.
A lot of boys who got their heads cut, busted for the first time, them game that cause it.
Wow.
Butter boy, butter, lick you with the belt buckle in your head and your head bust. And then you have to go to the nurse now and tell lie, miss a football, him a play and it drop. No, seriously, it's the most dangerous game easily of all of the dangerous games that we played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, and nobody turned down. They say, we're going to play a butter. Yes, everybody ready.
Because, George, at any point, you know, you could just miss a step in
Yeah,
or a branch break off and
we
that's a ground.
We didn't play it in any tree because the tree had to be on the strong limbs. You see, the plum tree limb, them it's strong and malleable. So them could have bend and, you know. But sometimes you get in a little spot, butter corner you, and I give you some hell of a lick. And the rule is, you couldn't, after you get lick, come down and then fight butter. No, everybody's not turned on.
That's why I was asking. Butter, nobody no lick back butter.
No, man, butter is in charge. Whoever have the belt is in charge. Whatever them do, they're free to do anything they want to do with it.
So you were never butter?
No. Tell my heart to play no. Because I love fighting and it's hard for me to accept say you're going to back me up. Beat me with belt and then I'm going to stick it just so. No, sir. Fling stone and all these things.
I have a final birthday here, German, before we wrap the show. Katie Buello sending belated happy birthday greetings. He says to my one-time daughter-in-law, my favorite, Shade, and saying, love you, Shade. So happy birthday to Shade from Katie Buello. Hope you had an amazing one. So it's belated birthday, so hope you had an amazing one. So that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. All right, so let's close out the birthday segment. Then we say goodbye.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Popeye's Wings. Try the 6-piece combo today for only $1,395. Wing the alarm!
So sometimes when a stranger would come to my house, stranger to me, but somebody of course my granny knew.
Yes.
And say, so Joyce, how things? And she would say, boy, my one boy, I give me a problem.
Trust me, George.
She used to say that a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I, of course, as a little girl, wasn't going around playing such risky games, but the little that I did, I used to hear my mom saying all the time, chicken Mary hot in there. Yeah. So I wonder what your granny said. Yeah.
One boy, I give me a big problem.
Yeah.
And many people, I see Mealy in the chat talking about her son giving her the problem as well. Persevere with the boys, parents, is what I ask. Persevere with the boys, persevere with the children.
Yes.
But the boys especially, I'll give you a whole heap of problems with the games they play, especially at primary school. So work with them and then pray to deliver them in high school in good order, and then they'll improve from there.
Yes. That's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. Thanks so much to our technical operator, Jermaine King, our super producer, Michelle McCrae Smith, our super editor, Kimon Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tona Thomas.
And I'm George.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
You're always shining. Never stop listening, baby.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
As the country gets ready to observe November as Parent Month, we embark on raising parents' awareness about the issues that could prevent their